Bless your beautiful hide. This move is like no others. If you want a wife, then threaten her life. It's 7 brides for 7 brothers. On a very special review. Hot bread!
Bless your beautiful heart, no matter who you be. Chelsea, grab a chair and there. Hey, look, it's JT.
I think you redlined a couple times on that one.
Oh, great. Hey, welcome to the Review, a show where 2 small-town dudes, and we're being joined by 1 small-town lady.
Hey.
Oh, sorry, you're
Medium
a lady
town.
of the world.
Yeah, I'm a lady of the world.
A well-traveled lady.
Yeah, more than your mountain folk from the movie.
Why don't you crack that right into the microphone?
It wasn't loud enough. It wasn't loud enough.
I'll go get another one.
We are continuing our Singing Out the Summer with 7 Brides for 7 Brothers.
Yeah.
AKA Brigadoon.
My pick for
Choice
this
pick.
whole thing we got going on here. That's coming up later in the episode.
Didn't even introduce.
Oh, yeah.
yourself.
Hey, I'm Troy to the max extreme.
What's with this guy?
Yeah, what the hell?
Christ.
I'm a lonesome polecat.
I have no words.
Hey, no words.
Make sure to do it in the microphone.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a long reach.
Oh, yeah, I'm Chelsea Danger.
Chelsea Danger, join in for a segment, or just a part of the show,
For
probably.
as long as I want.
Yeah.
And then I promptly just disappear into the night.
Until we start getting real sexist in this review.
Well, that might come to bite us in the butt.
Bet you in the balls, some may say.
Some. You, specifically. All right, so what we got going on today, we're still singing out the summer. It was my pick, 7... Sorry, I'm all flustered now. I don't know why.
Is it because I'm so pretty?
Yeah.
It's hot.
That you
and
don't even say yes to humor me.
It's hot.
You're like,
you came in here. You
"It's
rattled
hot."
the chains. I'm like Jacob
Just to make-
Marley over here.
For you, Chelsea, I will say that you're looking rather boner-inducing this evening.
Thank you.
Oh, come on. I'm
man.
right here.
Yeah, all you said was...
Don't worry, Troy. You're
it's
boner-inducing,
rather-
too.
Oh, thank you.
He always is, right? It's the sweat. The glistening
it's
sweat.
my-
Just with the 2 of you in the room, I'm fighting very hard to keep it in my pants.
Does it normally, escape without you knowing? Mm-hmm. Like, you have to hold it back?
Slytherin.
It's sneaky.
Slytherin, the House of Slytherin.
Joel's pants is the House of Slytherin over here.
Snape over there.
Snake.
Donkey
So
basketball, eh?
why don't we get to the show? So we got some great news. Hey, to all of our Spotify listeners out there.
This is actually huge.
Ever since jumping to Spotify,
You know about this?
a lot
Huger
of people
than my
have found
escaping penis.
Oh my God.
Jesus. Ever since jumping onto Spotify, a lot of people have found us and want to do something up top. We actually received a letter.
What?
Oh my God.
That's right.
So
Male
good.
scream. Male scream?
Got it.
Male scream.
Male scream.
I wish you could have captured the click click on the mouse pad.
Probably did.
Click, clack, click,
I
clack.
want nothing
clack.
but that.
We gained a new listener. First name Judith, last name I know it, but I'm going to withhold it because I respect people's privacy.
Look at you getting
Very nice
off.
of you. Getting off with holding.
So this is what Jude's wrote in. Hi guys, I started writing a message and then it vanished. So sorry if you get 2 of these. Turns out we didn't. You did your job correct, Judes.
This is our second Jude.
Oh my God, it is.
Really?
We now have 2 Judes.
Is it Jude or Judy?
It's Judith.
Judith.
Oh.
I went on to nickname her Judes.
I dig.
Inadvertently forgetting that we had a writer in for a while from Australia named Jude.
Is this
Wait a minute.
trick?
Is this Jude dressed as a
Jude?
woman?
Or Judith.
Was Judith Jude?
Let us know. Right in. Anyway, just wanted to say I've discovered your podcast this past week and have really enjoyed listening to them. I found them on Spotify by accident because I randomly was searching for the music to Fievel Goes West, one of my childhood classics.
Good call.
Because I remember liking the score. The score was good. It had a Western giddy-up theme. Instead, I found your review. Instead. No,
Yeah.
No.
I settled for.
Yeah.
I bottomed out.
I found your review of the film, and it was hilarious. I then continued my nostalgia by listening to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which was also very funny. I've also listened to your review of True Lies. Made me want to watch that again, which is one of my parents' favorites.
I've never seen it.
She's from the UK, so she spelled favorites with a U. I like that.
God.
Dang it, I like it.
3 Billboards. She listened to that review. I wasn't even on that one. That was you and Molly.
Yeah,
I haven't
that's
seen
right.
that yet.
It's on HBO.
She watched it for the first time this week and really liked it. And The Room, which I love, and who doesn't?
Come on.
I would highly recommend the book The Disaster Artist, which I recently listened to on the audiobook on YouTube. Currently listening to your Singing in the Rain review that we did last week for the first week of Singing Out the Summer. Really good. A lot of facts on that one. Liked it.
A lot of
Movie was
facts.
really good. Really good.
Really good.
I grew up on classic musicals like that and would have so many suggestions, such as Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Whoa.
She wrote that even before we
My
knew we were doing that this
God.
week.
Did you
Kiss
give her
Me
the set
Kate,
list?
Easter Parade, Meet Me in St. Louis, Hans Christian Andersen. They bring back funny memories, but I may be one of the only people of our generation to know about these films. She's our age. I'm not going to out you. I'm not going to out you, Judes. Unless you are, in
Very
fact,
gentlemanly
Jude
of you.
from Australia, in
Yeah.
which we've outed you. I also like modern musicals like Moulin Rouge and Chicago. I guess they aren't actually that modern anymore, because now they're probably 20 years old.
Yeah.
But didn't think much of La La Land.
Uh-oh.
I
Uh-oh.
think she's pretty much in the same boat as
City of
us. It's good,
Yeah.
but it doesn't
Does
even
not
touch
match
like
up.
Singing in the Rain.
Does
or
not
something.
touch
my
Singing in the
God,
Rain.
no.
I've
Let's see if it
actually
matches up to this, though, tonight.
Oh, stay
Seven
tuned.
Brides.
Stay tuned. Top of the hour. I have actually been very unwell for the past 4 years with a chronic illness and very limited on what I can do. So your podcasts have brought some much needed light relief and much appreciated from an English fan.
You sent that to me in a screenshot the day you got it, and you're like, I just had to share this with you. Joel and I got our first bit of like sweet fan mail like ever that was that detailed, and I seriously had goosebumps reading that as your wife.
Yeah.
I was like, that is the sweetest write-in ever, and the fact that you made somebody's day just rocks.
It actually made my day.
Yeah.
Way to go,
So we
Judith.
haven't actually gotten any mail in a while. I mean,
No.
We had Jude for a while, and then apparently he must have fallen off the earth or changed his identity.
Well, I'm gonna call her Judith because people call me Chelsea, and it makes my blood boil.
Judith,
Yeah,
Right
maybe
in.
you.
are you
yeah.
Jude first off? And do you care if I call you Judes?
Yeah, well, I'm going to call her Judith because that's her name. And
Yeah.
I thought it was a really awesome review, and not enough people say nice things when, they stumble across stuff. So,
Thanks, Chelsea.
Yeah.
yeah.
Plus, we're getting a lot more listens on Spotify.
It's insane.
Yeah, so what up, Spotify?
What was it? 330% from last
It's like
week?
You said like 600
I just
or
checked it
something
before the
percent
show.
that it
God.
went up.
Yeah, our listens went up 600%
That's insane.
in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it's nuts.
Spotify.
It's nuts. It's
know
nuts, I tell ya.
You know what's great about
nuts.
Spotify?
What?
When you don't pay for the family account and you only have the singular account, and I'm at work listening to Spotify, and then Troy pranks me by going to play something himself and realizing I'm listening to it and can send something to my headphones.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
It's like
That's
yeah.
but it has to be like
And
a perfect storm. Like everything has to be working right. But he's done that last week. Thankfully, I squirreled myself away in an empty office, and I was working on a project with headphones in because
Yeah.
he starts playing
Oh, I'm gonna
"Poop in My
load it.
Fingernails," which there's two songs.
I'm loading it up
There's
right
a
now.
song called "Poop
Okay,
in My
so
Fingernails."
I found this artist, the Toilet Bowl Cleaners, and they have "Poop in My Fingernails" and "Welcome to Fart Town," and they've been ingrained into our family.
All right, here we go. Here's poop
So
in my
you're
fingernails.
welcome.
You know, I wipe really hard, and my toilet paper's weak.
Get ready.
Sometimes I break right through, and my fingernail is rubbing up
It's
against
my poopy butt cheek.
and I'm completely unaware of what's
Going on down there.
Oh my God!
my finger out of
My butt.
and I
poop in my fingernails, poop in my fingernails, poop.
Oh
poop,
my
poop
God.
in my Play Welcome to Fart Town.
That is-
This is the
oh
other
my
one.
This
God.
This is my other staple.
Wait, this is gonna haunt your dreams forever. Get ready.
Welcome to Fart Town. Welcome to Fart Town. Welcome to Fart Town.
This is what our show's turned into.
There goes
Okay.
all of our listeners.
P.S. P.S. This is all me. Like, I found this, and
Good
now.
God.
But the best part is with Spotify is we can prank each other. So I went to go do it earlier this week. I'm listening, working on a project in my headphones, and all of a sudden it like stops and tries to play Seven Brides or Seven Brothers, and I'm like, this is my moment. I know he's trying to listen. So I went to my list and I accidentally clicked on a song I didn't mean to, and so I was like pushing on Welcome to Fart Town, like clicking on it, hoping no one at work would see me because I'm like, this is ridiculous, and it wouldn't go through. So I like close the browser, bring it back up, and then I asked him later. I was like, "So, did you hear that song, that country song?" Yeah. As soon as I started hearing it, I closed out of the app and started listening to a podcast. So that's why I couldn't get Welcome to Fart Town to play. But
Oh,
I tell you what,
fantastic.
it's really. Welcome to Fart Town really will stick with you.
What's the name of that artist again?
The Toilet Bowl Cleaners.
Toilet Bowl Cleaners. Check them out for such classics as
What's the
Poop
name
in
of
My
that toilet?
Fingernails and Welcome to Fart
They
Town.
have a ton of songs.
They have
about
like
poop.
7 albums about.
Yeah.
My God.
There's one just about a sloth pooping. Anyway,
Is it a
They're
slow
really
song?
catchy. No.
no.
Damn it.
We came back from Macy's surgery last week, and in the car, I played them on my phone and just was like flipping through them really fast because we literally were very tired, but
My
we were
God.
crying laughing.
That is fantastic.
This is a glimpse into our personal life.
what a
guys.
gem. What a gem.
I know. Spotify hidden gem right there.
Welcome to
Check
Fart
out
Town.
The Toilet Bowl
Yep.
Cleaners.
So go on Spotify and look up things like our podcast and Welcome to Fart Town.
We
They're listed right next to each other.
Yeah,
at this
We were
go
point.
back
saying-
to back.
okay.
Make a playlist.
we were okay. We were laughing, and we were like, we should make a podcast called F Town, like Fart Town, but like,
Yeah, like the one
S-Town,
about S-Town or whatever.
but it's F Town.
Holy shit.
You're welcome, universe.
Anyway, we should probably get into the news, hey, JT?
Now let's go. Let's waste
right.
some more time.
This is, I thought, pretty interesting. Director Tony Kaye, who directed American History X,
Whoa.
he's going to be directing a movie with a
Unicorns.
No, with a robot as one of the main characters.
I
An
thought it was like
actual
the
robot?
main character, I thought.
Well,
Like
I
a
don't know
real
if it's
one?
the main one, but yeah, like a real robot is just being an actor in the movie.
Yeah, like
it's not
they're
like
using
iRobot or anything.
Yeah, they're using like an artificial intelligence.
Is it that chick from Saudi Arabia who has a driver's license, but the women there don't?
Maybe, I don't know.
All right.
All
right.
I do know that it's not a sci-fi movie. It's going to be a romantic comedy, and the title is
no.
going to be Second Born. So
oh, no. Is a chick going to have sex with a robot?
at this point, is that the worst that can happen?
I don't know.
Robot
Maybe
sex
not.
is just right around the corner.
I thought you were going
It's
to be
already
like,
halfway
I
there.
literally thought
Yeah.
you were going to be like, robots are
People
just
are
really
already
hot.
fucking dolls.
I thought you were
I
going to say
think robots.
dogs.
I think robots is a step up from dolls.
Yeah, right. I
It
think
goes
really is.
dolls, robot, person. I
Yep.
think animal is below doll.
And then 2 robots is above that.
Two robots at the same time. That's what I'd do if I got $1 million.
Right. Just buy 2 sex
just
robots.
1 million.
Two robots
is
at the
all it
same
would
time,
take.
bro.
God.
That's what I'd do with $1 million.
Oh, I don't even want to know.
Don't even ask the question. You got to put that thing on. You got to put the
Welcome
dishwasher
to
on pots
Fart
and
Town.
pans.
Oh
This is
my
gonna be
god!
a deep cut, but like from Jake the Snake. It's like Jake the Snake Roberts from Beyond the Mat, where it's like first it's one robot, then it's 2 robots, then it's 2 robots with toys, then it's 2 robots and a chick, then it's it's 3 chicks and 1 robot. Where does it end, man?
Oh my god! What did I stumble into today?
A pit of vipers, sweaty, horny vipers.
Oh.
Literally escaping my pants.
Speaking of escaping my pants, Venom may be not rated R. so says speculation. It may be dropping to a PG-13 rating.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. I don't give a shit about this movie, to be
I'm
honest.
not super into it either.
Everything I've seen, I'm just not excited for.
Can't wait to review it.
Yeah, we're gonna see it probably. It'll be one of those I catch after work
No,
right
it'll be
before
like,
the show.
Hey, babe, you want to go on a date Friday night? Oh,
I will not
and then
drag
you
you to
show
that.
up and
Yeah.
make me go to Venom.
I
No,
would
'cause
feel
you will
bad
Spit venom in my face. I
No,
think.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
if Molly
Well,
even
maybe.
saw a glimpse of this movie. I would feel bad. Like, go away. I'd treat it like she
blinder.
caught me masturbating. Get out of here! Get.
Throw sand in her eyes.
Yeah.
I just keep pockets full of sand for instances like this.
I have been referencing that a lot.
Ah, shit!
Yeah. People throwing sand in people's eyes to me is sometimes really funny.
I think people need to keep sand in their pockets
Or
for
glitter.
instances where you don't want them to see.
Just a little satchel full of sand.
Yeah.
Oh,
Glitter.
that breeze feels so
the
good.
pretty sand.
Oh.
Ew.
Um.
God,
This is getting weirdly
really
sexual in
gross.
the very beginning of the show.
Yeah. So
You
Venom
both are gross.
maybe PG-13. I'm assuming it's because the cut of it hasn't been really well received,
And
and they're
it
trying to
sucks.
get as many people to see it first weekend as possible.
Yep.
That's just my speculation. I don't know if that's true or not, but probably sucks. In more movie news, JT, McDonald's Monopoly
Yeah.
has been optioned and bought. Did you see this? I think we brought it up a little
brought
bit
it up a
last
little
week,
bit, yeah, 'cause,
but I got specifics on it.
Okay.
I think, as you said, that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are
Writing.
on board.
Yeah, they're writing it.
I think Matt Damon is also going to star in it. And Affleck, I think, is just going to produce or direct, one of the two.
Oh,
See a
nice.
dirt bag in the background.
But it was also the highest bidding record ever for a
Jesus.
film.
What?
Yeah. So, like, I looked up the stats on this. So, it was optioned for $350,000 with an additional $1 million if adapted to the big screen. And I'm like, well, that doesn't seem like a whole lot. And then I read, like, the usual fees for scripts like this cost $1,000.
Seriously?
Yeah. And I was like, holy shit. So they really wanted to get on this. And not only did Affleck and Matt Damon's production company go in on this, also 20th Century Fox did. And I'm like, isn't Fox being sold? So, like, why would they do such a huge
I don't know.
buy-in on something?
Maybe they're trying to fuck over Disney before they get bought.
Maybe.
Welcome
You gotta
to
deal with this
Fartown.
shit.
Welcome to F-Town.
Yeah. Oh, that's the name of the movie. Fart Town. The Monopoly McDonald's
Hey,
movie.
I totally have some guys who would love to do the soundtrack.
We gotta timestamp this podcast so we have the rights, intellectual rights.
Yep.
So that's all I got for that. I just found it very surprising that was a very drastic jump in price.
Whoa.
The last bit of movie news, Movie Pass.
That's still a
Man.
thing anymore?
It's
Man.
hanging in there
It's
by a thread.
By a thread.
Like,
I just wanted to go out of business, so I make sure that it's not charging me anymore. Because I've heard some horror stories where they
Yeah,
like
like-
they're fucking people over.
Seriously?
Like
Yeah.
like you'll cancel it and then they'll like re-up your subscription without you knowing. Mm-hmm. So I just
Yeah.
want them to go out of business as fast as possible.
Have they kept charging you?
I just did it this month, so I don't
Oh.
know. They've charged me for this month, but I don't know what's gonna happen next month.
And then
Oh, God.
I didn't even think about the people who bought like a year subscription.
Oh God, those poor people.
And then, so here's this. I got a quarterly loss for them. Got the numbers.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of numbers on this.
Hit
app.
us with the deets.
You got it. Here's some deets. Had a quarterly loss of $127 million. And is now also being sued by shareholders due to material misrepresentation and omissions. So they knew essentially that this was going to be a loss leader of a business and didn't really tell that to its shareholders, which I don't see how, if they were smart enough to invest, that
I know,
they would
that's
be
what I was
smart enough to
thinking.
catch on. But that was like the whole deal. So they're suing Movie Pass for whatever little money they still have.
Yeah.
Sucks to be
Welcome
them.
to Fartown. Welcome to Fartown. That's true.
Got a bunch of Fart Town apps.
Bunch of
Yeah.
brown there.
Yep. But that's all the news I got. I thought was fit to spit.
I know it was a pretty slow news week.
I
I might have to look something up because I think the Teen Choice Awards were this past.
They were.
I've
this
been
last-
So
holding out.
you recorded it?
I didn't record it, but I have our picks right
Well,
here. in
I'll
front
look
of me.
up. I'll look
You
up
missed.
the.
You missed a top category.
I'll look up the things
What?
Yeah.
after I get through my news.
Okay.
Yeah, you missed the TV ones.
We didn't want to do the TV.
We didn't want
ones,
the
'cause
TV.
didn't want it to
We
take
legit
forever.
started one of the TV ones, and none of them piqued any of our interest.
Fine. One of my favorite shows won one of the TV ones, so.
Yeah, no.
Well, we'll talk about it when we get to it.
Riverdale cleaned
That's
up.
what I was hinting the other day, and you're like, don't tell me.
Riverdale cleaned it.
Because you were being vague on the specifics there.
That Archie, eh?
Yeah.
Well, we're on the subject of TV. Amazon Prime is starting a new show that's being fronted by the creator of Mad Men, Matthew Weiner.
Oh.
And
That's an unfortunate name.
it's a show called The Romanoffs. It's going to be like a
I saw
mild
something about
anthology series that follows a bunch of people that claim to be descendants of the Romanovs from Russian
Is
folklore.
it like a documentary?
No, it's like
Oh.
it's a scripted series, but it's like you follow 10 different stories where someone claims to be a descendant of the Romanovs.
Isn't Roger Sterling in this as well?
Yeah,
Like he took some Mad
I
Men.
John
love
Slattery
Rod-
and Christina
Rod
Hendricks
Sterling.
will both have roles in the series.
Cool.
I might check
Be a
that
good
out.
Romanoff.
It's not like Black Widow.
I know what it is. Don't.
All right. All right. Jeez. You just got salty real quick.
She is staring daggers.
Oh, boy.
We talked about not too long ago, Neil Blomkamp's RoboCop
Yeah.
might be coming up down the pipeline sometime, hopefully soon. I'd
For
be for
TV?
that.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Huh?
TV?
No.
The big screen, baby.
Big screen. It's supposed to be a sequel to the first one, right?
Oh,
Yes.
like the newer
it's
one that came out.
Undoing RoboCop 2 and 3.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
But in an interview, they asked Neil Blomkamp who he would want to play RoboCop, and he said himself.
Oh, really?
He would want to play RoboCop.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Little boy
be-
fantasy there.
So I don't know. What do you think?
Channing Tatum.
I don't think Neil Blomkamp has even acted in anything.
Well,
What's he look like? Is he little?
I don't even know what Blomkamp looks like.
I
to
know.
be
I don't
honest.
either.
But yeah, I guess you only need the mouth for it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Unless you get that cap blown off, and then you're like totally Peter Weller underneath.
Just Peter Weller,
With
that
his-
shit.
With his Peter Weller mask that he's got over that robot skull.
When you were saying that, I was thinking the guy who's on Smallville, but that's not the right guy.
Oh, that's Tom Welling.
Tom Welling.
Swelling Welling.
Yeah, he was pretty swelly on Lucifer. I almost said ludicrous.
Oh, yeah, he was on Lucifer, wasn't he?
He was.
Looking pretty swole.
He was
swollen.
Cain. He was Cain from Cain and Abel.
Ooh, look at
Oh, Peter Welling was Kane?
Yeah.
Tom
shit.
Welling.
Or Tom Welling?
Yeah, we have totally.
You guys are just going down a Welling rabbit hole that I am finding it very hard to follow.
I'm sorry.
More news. What do you got for?
What
are
else
you?
you
Did you
got?
look him up? What he looks like?
No, I didn't look at him.
All right.
What?
But I'm
Okay.
guessing he looks cute. I don't know.
Fans, post on Twitter what you think he looks like.
Yeah. Post some pictures of Neil Blomkamp so we can look at him. Be all cool about
At
it.
review pod, do it.
Got some more news on James Gunn. James Gunn watch.
Oh, dun-dun-dun-dun.
Apparently
All right,
Marvel is trying to bring him
contestants.
back to direct
Oh,
Guardians 3.
oh, okay. Bringing him back to direct.
Yeah. This is reports. I don't know if it's set in stone.
Speculation. Maybe.
Speculation.
Should open that rumor mill.
Where'd you
Too late
read
now, but-
where's the report from?
Esquire.
Oh, all right.
okay.
Esquire's fairly reputable.
The Onion.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Brazzers.
Onions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I love the Onion. There was like somebody put it up a thing that the Onion did where it was like certainly throwing away one plastic bottle won't be too big of a deal. Thinks 2 million people. Oh, the Onion's so good. But no, yeah, that's this is done off of. I guess there was like some controversial photos put out where James Gunn was at a pedophile party.
What?
This is just. I don't even know if
Was
this
it
is
still
really.
like a decade ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's some shit, and I think it was just like done as a joke. And like the two major sources that posted it were Breitbart and Infowars. So it's
So
like
it's got to be right.
it's totally
right?
true,
Yeah,
guys.
it's got to be just right on.
So
Not.
yeah, it's just I don't know.
Shut up.
Yeah. So I don't know. So do you think this is worth the trouble? Do you think they should bring back James Gunn for Volume 3? After all this?
Aren't there like a cajillion great directors out there though?
Yeah, but I mean, this was like, out of all of the Marvel movies that come out, this one was specifically like his vision.
Yeah. I think this is like the most unique out of the Marvel films
All right,
would be
I'm
Guardians.
Just throwing it out there.
And if they're gonna wrap up the whole story, it'd be kind of disappointing to hand it off to somebody else, even if it's like somebody like
Yeah.
Taika Waititi, who has like a goofy vibe. Because like I assume at this point, like the actors could pretty much fulfill the role that they need to do.
Yeah.
And they could make pretty much any script work. But like I still don't think like with the music inputs and all that kind of charm that James Gunn would have as the director, it just wouldn't feel exactly the same, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm for him coming back. But if they don't, it sucks, but whatever. I'll get over it eventually.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see down the pipeline. How does this play out? Only the future will tell.
Play
Would
us
you
out,
like to know
keyboard
more?
cat.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I got some James Bond news.
Oh.
A big rumor about who will play the next James Bond.
Oh
There's been
yeah.
rumors aplenty about this.
I think I know where this is going.
Of course, Daniel Craig will be on board for the Bond 25 that's
more.
coming up. But after
Till he
him,
dies.
there is a big rumor out there
Idris Elba.
that it could possibly be Idris Elba taking over the Bond.
Still in that rumor mill from like years ago.
Yeah, but I guess there's like a lot
Diversity,
of cryptic tweets that Idris Elba put out that might be pointing towards him taking over
it's
the
about
role.
time.
I saw those this last weekend.
Break it up. Break up that good old white boy club.
Yeah.
Get him out.
Get him out!
I know there was like I guess there's like some tweets put out from like people where it's like I don't like it because James Bond is in the books James Bond is a white guy, and then it's like yeah, but in the books he's also an alcoholic that beats women.
And he's also like moderately just okay looking and not like
Yeah.
a muscle bound freak like Daniel Craig.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I'd be for Idris Elba.
He'd be
Idris Elba
awesome.
kicks ass.
He
And
definitely has
apparently
the like.
James Bond also has like huge hands or something. Oh
Why do you know this?
No, because somebody on Twitter like posted something. I think it's.
Do you
actually,
write fan fiction about
actually
you? And...
don't think it's James Bond. I think it's Jack Ryan.
Jesus.
My
He's
God.
got huge, calloused, like gorilla type.
Hey Troy,
hands.
why don't you use those huge hands of yours to get me another beer?
I did
Oh,
not know where that
jeez.
was going.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm waiting for that beer to spill all over that laptop.
Troy, I got a last bit of news, and it's a big one. I'm surprised they didn't bring this up in your news. 'Cause
Sometimes I leave things out because sometimes I feel like I take away your thunder.
it was pretty hot news this past
Thunder
week.
from down under.
All right.
So, discussions have been started for Star Trek 4,
Yeah.
and they've had two pretty big falling outs
Oh, I did hear about this.
for Star Trek 4. Of course, they were talking about bringing in Chris Hemsworth to reprise the role of Kirk's father,
Yes.
and those fell through. And also, the talks of Kirk himself, Chris Pine, fell through. Oh. So that means we could very well see a Star Trek without Captain Kirk in the
Cool.
future.
Look out. I heard the reason too why
Chris Pine's out.
Chris Pine's out, and now I can't remember what it is.
And no, it was money. It was something with money where I think he wanted.
Oh,
it was like some kind
yeah,
of
it
like
is.
like Disney has some kind of like franchise pay scale, and Chris Pine wanted that, and they were like, no.
I thought it was. I didn't know if it was that so much as I thought that they were trying to do this movie on a lower budget and asked if the actors would take a pay cut for it.
Oh,
And then he was like, no, because I'm contracted for this much.
Which is fair.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's in paper
It's
saying,
on-
like,
in
you
writing.
promised me this.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
You promised me the world, Disney.
yeah. So, I mean, it would suck if he wasn't in it. I wouldn't really care so much if Hemsworth didn't come back because he had such a small part anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, if this is like another, like, Simon Pegg pet project, that'd be
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of shitty for his main star in it to, like, back out on him.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, I'm also not, like, a huge Trekkie either, so I don't really care so
I like
much.
the newer movies, though. I'm not a
I
huge
do-
Trekkie, but I enjoy watching them.
I might get a lot of flack for this, but I like the new Star Trek movies more than any other Star Trek that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
a lot of nerds probably will scream at me for that
How
because
many do you know that would scream at you?
I know at least one.
Oh.
Our friend Pasco is a huge Trekkie.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
Shout out to
Imperial
you, Pascal.
Trooper for himself.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
Old Pat Masco.
Hat mask. Oh, good lord.
You slowly put
It just
together.
it just slowly brushed onto me. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's all my news.
All right.
But we do have a bit, Troy.
Ah, I know this
Oh,
one.
no.
I know.
Yep, there's a bit. So
Actually, there's 2 bits I think this week.
oh shit.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
I've
there-
got one at
I
least.
know one of them, and it's pretty sad.
I'm gonna look it up.
So I'll fire up the Neil's
Okay.
Bits
I could
theme.
probably go for a jog
Please,
and come back.
Chelsea, please subdue your laughing as we dive into Neil's Bits.
I know who it is. It's really sad.
Man, this is so sad.
People dying. It's the
Chelsea, this is not a
pit.
laughing
Please
matter.
stay tuned to Neil's Bits.
Not a laughing matter.
Neil's a laughing matter. Heyo.
Chelsea, come on, Chelsea.
Is it still going?
There we go. It's done, and it will be done after we do these bits. Well, while Troy's looking up somebody who passed away, I will bring up the one that I know from the wrestling community.
Yep, this is one I know.
Jim the Anvil Neidhart passed away. I'm not exactly sure from what.
He fell and hit his head,
What, really?
and he died at home.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they said there like something about he was convulsing
Ooh.
from his fall, and he died. He died from that.
I know,
injury.
because he didn't seem like he was super old when he passed
He didn't
away.
seem super fit, so I thought maybe it was a heart
No,
attack.
well, he's always been like a big burly dude.
No, he. I read a report, and who knows, but it was like right as it was being announced that he fell somehow and hit his head really hard, and that he was convulsing and died from his injuries at home.
Yeah. Wasn't he like 57 or something?
And
like
not
that?
Yeah,
that
he was
old.
definitely younger. I know,
Yikes.
but
I know, because
Yeah.
I watched that Divas show.
The Anvil
Because I'm not
Man.
really into wrestling like
Yeah.
you guys are, but I watched the Divas show. And I
yeah,
was like,
because
to
his
lose your
daughter
dad
Maddie
like
is
that?
on there.
And she was supposed to do a wrestling show like that night
Yeah,
after
yep.
it was announced, and
Yeah.
she was not on it. From what I understand.
That's good.
Well, they did the whole thing with because I guess she's good friends with Ronda Rousey, so she did like kind of like a thing to like pay tribute to him on Raw.
Sweet.
So
Yeah, I can't imagine
but-
losing a parent like that. Like you
Yeah,
just fall and
unexpectedly.
hit your head.
Yeah.
really. Like
just like an out of nowhere
freak
thing like
accident.
that. It's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, huge contribution to the wrestling
And,
community.
Yeah, the Heart Foundation.
Jeez.
Somebody posted a picture. The only living member of the Heart Foundation now is Bret Hart.
I saw that where he's the only one in color. And
Yeah.
everybody else
It's
is in black and white.
God damn.
It's so sad.
Yeah,
It
Were
is
there a
so
lot of them?
sad.
there was 5 members of it.
oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, because Brian Pillman died of a shit. I don't think. Can't remember what he died of. I think it was like something drug related, maybe.
Oh
Owen Hart had that freak accident where he fell from the rafters.
oh. I
And hit his
remember
head on the
hearing about
turnbuckle.
He hit his head
Oh,
on
that's
turnbuckle.
awful.
British Bulldog died of a heart attack, and then Jim the Anvil Neidhart. And so yeah,
that.
Bret
Freak
Hart.
accidents.
And
Yeah.
Bret Hart is like just skirting by at this point.
Yeah,
had,
he,
like,
he had a
that
stroke, so he's like I think like half of his body he can't use very
Oh my
well.
God.
Didn't he have like
his
a run
family.
with like pancreatic cancer or something? like
Yeah,
that,
he had a
too?
brush with that too.
Like not that long
Man,
ago.
Yeah.
it sounds like they have a curse on their family.
Yeah, well,
Almost.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
The other one I don't have It's actually not a bit, but just I'm gonna say it anyway because it might happen soon. Aretha Franklin.
Oh, I heard about this.
Is
yeah.
actually
No.
like in like hospice care
She's in her
right now.
90s,
Yeah.
isn't she?
She was born in 42. I just looked it up.
Yeah.
But like she's being with her family and friends at this point.
She, I think, had health issues a few years ago too.
Yeah,
like she
I-
hasn't been in good
I
health.
saw like a bunch of stuff on Twitter like yesterday and the day before, and I'm like, oh no, did she go? But I haven't seen anything since. I thought she like maybe she did, and I just totally missed it. But she's just like in critical care.
I will always
Yeah.
think beyond her song "Respect." I will always think of her singing at Obama's inauguration.
Yeah.
That was just like such an awesome moment.
Yeah.
It's the first thing that comes to mind. She had
Yep.
a killer hat on.
I just remember from WrestleMania 3 where Vince McMahon goes, Miss Aretha Franklin!
Wow.
Bring it back to wrestling.
But Aretha Franklin, get better. That's
Yep.
That's some sad stuff.
it's done. Hey, do you get those the Teen Choice things?
Oh, shit. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'll bring up the Teen Choice Awards.
I thought you were doing this whole time.
No, I'm sorry. I fucked up, guys.
Oh Jesus.
Fucked up.
Jesus. Setting a poor standard.
Here we go. Teen Choice Awards. Winners list.
Here we go. We only did movies, and we did this
In
months
movies.
ago.
So while I'm pulling this up, Troy, bring up the first.
4 action movies.
Yes.
We both had Infinity War as our pick.
We did?
Yes.
Okay, well, for choice action movie, Infinity War 1. We're both a point
Sweet.
a point in.
I put J over here and a T over here. We both have a point.
All right. Choice sci-fi movie, Troy. What did we pick?
You picked Black Panther.
Okay.
I picked Blade Runner 2049.
Well, Troy, I'm up a point, bitch.
Damn
Black
it.
Panther took it.
God damn it.
Fuck yeah.
I think even when you said it, I was like, damn it.
Choice fantasy, Troy. What did we pick?
Fantasy, JT, you have Coco,
Yeah.
and I have The Last Jedi.
Coco took it.
Are you serious? Yes. Oh my god. Sucks to be me.
Choice drama.
You picked what the fuck is that? I don't know what I abbreviated this to. Mont Sun?
Oh,
Midnight
Sun. The fuck?
Sorry, you must have been talking really fast, so I just started abbreviating stuff. Midnight Sun,
Yeah.
you picked. I picked A Quiet Place.
Okay. We both lost, Troy. The Greatest Showman
Christ.
won for
Boo.
choice drama.
Can we not launch that for the show?
Choice comedy.
You put Love, Simon, and I put Jumanji.
I love Simon.
Are you serious?
It's right there.
Get the fuck out of here!
I swear I thought I was gonna lose that one too.
Christ! 4-1, and the one that I got, Joel also got. Looks like I'm buying beer next
Oh, fuck yeah.
week. God damn it!
Should have
I'm
been on
so
Riverdale.
good. I'm good at this shit.
Riverdale
We
won
didn't do
everything.
TV.
We didn't do
because
TV. Fuck
We did,
yeah.
we did one category in TV while reading it. And we're like, I don't know what any of this is, so we just said fuck it.
I like thought back and I was like, oh, I was like trying to think back to what we picked and I was like, oh shit, I think Troy might have beat me. I think he got a lot of good ones. Nope.
Joke's on you.
Toot toot.
Welcome to Toot Town.
Welcome to Toot Town.
Welcome to F Town, me.
Yeah. Yeah. F me, right?
Well, with that beer victory, it's done.
Oh, the show's over?
No.
It's been fun,
Yep,
guys.
bye everybody.
It's been really
And we're off.
That would be crazy if you did end it right there and just surprise people. Like, oh, that's 2 hours shorter than normal.
What are we doing here? Trailers. We got some trailers here, Chelsea. Did you see any trailers this last week?
Oh, the Crazy Asians. Crazy Rich Asians,
Oh,
which
but
I
that-
want to see.
Oh, but that's already...
That comes out this week.
I know, but I just saw the trailer. I want to see it.
All right.
All right.
Take it easy.
Cool story, brah.
I'm hearing pretty
I haven't
decent
seen a
things
lot.
about it.
I know,
Yeah, me
I
too.
heard it's really good. It looks good. I like the actress in it.
Aquafina's in it.
Oh, look out.
I love Aquafina. Oh my god, I totally follow her on.
I watched all of that click into
Instagram.
place just now, and you're like,
Oh my god.
oh my god, I,
went
love
to water
Aquafina.
first, and then I was like, no, not the brand of water. The drag queen.
That's
Yeah.
it.
She's a drag queen?
She's good.
I didn't know she was a drag queen. Cool.
Shut
What?
up, Joel. Yeah, you did.
I didn't know she was a drag queen.
What did you think she was?
I thought she was like a rapper or something.
Makes sense.
Why are you staring at me like that? I didn't
Wait.
fucking know.
I'm thinking of the wrong person. I'm thinking of, it's like Aquafaria or whatever. Aquaria.
Oh, Aquaria, yeah.
I'm
She was on
thinking Aquaria,
RuPaul.
not
She won.
Aquafina.
She won RuPaul's Drag Race.
She's gorgeous.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
RuPaul Drag Race. She won that.
Yeah, I follow her on Instagram. I
She's
got her
pretty
name
good.
wrong. I think she's gorgeous, but whatever.
All right.
So I don't know who Aquafina is, other than a bottle of fucking water.
Whoa, okay.
She was in Ocean's 8.
But did you go to the Unite the Riot rally this last
Yeah,
weekend?
what the
How
hell?
dare you?
Were you one of the 30 people there? Oh my god, Google is
Chiming in.
taking very much.
I said Unite the Right, and Google
Umbrage.
started listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trump.
I didn't know you
No,
were a
who's-
racist.
Don't make me play that sweet Iranian music.
Please don't. Not
Don't.
now. Nah,
What was
it's
that
too
rap
soon.
song you guys were playing last show?
I don't even know. think
I
it
don't
Came
know.
out of nowhere.
literally
It was like,
just
what the fuck is happening?
I think I asked it to play something, and then I asked it to play the name of our show.
Oh, yeah, you asked
And
to
then it
play
just
Charm
started
Type, and it started
playing
playing something
rap
else, and I'm
music.
like, oh my god, this is going to be offensive. Anyway, hey, what trailers you got, JT?
Well, I got two.
Okay.
There is the reuniting of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost
Oh, look out.
in a film called Slaughterhouse Rules. It takes place in a school where a beast from hell escapes, starts killing off all of the students.
No, thank you.
Looks pretty decent.
All right.
It's like a horror comedy.
She was all right.
Is it like
She
the
was
same
decent.
vein as all their other jaunts?
Kind of. It's got kind of that Edgar Wright feel to it. So I don't know. It might be pretty decent.
Edgar Wright doing it?
No, it's a different director, but it's got a that feel of it where
Okay.
It's
they're
got the
definitely
rip-off
not
feeling
taking
of
it.
another.
It feels like a really nice ripoff of Edgar Wright. Another movie coming out for Netflix. This one kind of has me interested. A movie called The Kindergarten Teacher, starring Maggie Gyllenhaal, where she plays a kindergarten teacher who has a young prodigy in her class and decides to take it upon herself to kind of mature him in a better way by abducting him.
Oh, boy.
It looks good.
Troublesome.
Well,
Yeah.
me as a mom is it's got my hackles up.
Well, yeah.
Look out.
Well, she
Hackles
plays like a
plenty.
kindergarten teacher where like he is actually like saying some pretty profound stuff for being so young. So she tries to get his parents to do more with him, and they're like, "No, I'm just gonna let him go to school." And she was like, "Well, I'm gonna
Show
I'm
him
going to
the
raise
world.
him right.
yeah." So
I'm
she
Maggie
abducts him
Gyllenhaal.
and then tries to do like a bunch of where like I don't know. She seems like kind of like a hippie where she like talks
It's
about
not
it's
like
like
sex stuff, right?
no, it's not
Okay.
sex stuff. It's like she talks about this shit where it's like all the greatest minds in history were raised by people that tried to keep the outside world away to unpollute their minds or some shit. I don't know, but it looks I don't know. It looks good.
Or some shit.
I'm curious about it. I kind of want to see it.
He loves abduction.
All right.
So the
Well,
Kindergarten
more-
Teacher on Netflix.
more-
I think it comes out like the middle of October.
All right. Another thing coming out in October is one of my trailers, JT.
What?
Brought it up a little bit last week, but that Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer
Oh my
came
God.
out.
Oh yeah.
And my
He has watched so many YouTube reviews of this game that I feel like I've already played it.
that shit where like you get to like
Brush a horse,
run your
for
own
an hour,
camp. Oh yeah, and then you have to like
build
you have
a
to-
relationship.
That's
with
right, to
your
build a
horse.
relationship with your horse.
hell yeah. I'm into it.
He will. He'll spend like 2 days
yeah.
brushing his horse.
That'll be your new skinning a bear. Is you brushing your horse
my
for 2
God.
hours?
I want to play this game so bad. I want it so. I don't even have a way to play it right now, but I want it. What? Why did you give me a stink eye?
I
When
think
I
that's
said
No, 'cause I
that
didn't know
Spider-Man game comes out at the end of the month.
yeah, in September.
I've seen all the trailers for that too.
Man,
bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna be so poor soon. So poor.
So poor we can smell it.
Yeah. Call me a pitcher, because I'm gonna be poor.
All right. Nailed it. But yeah, that Red Dead trailer looks amazing. I got to get all up in that.
Oh my God, that's graphic about you in this horse game.
The second trailer I saw.
This horse game.
Cowboy horse, whatever. I'm
the
over
second
it.
trailer I saw is the second Red Band trailer for the Happy Time Murders.
Ugh.
Yep.
It's pretty much only unfiltered Twitter reviews is the whole thing. It's the whole trailer. So it's
Oh.
like, this person said, this shit is whack, or whatever. Or this person said, what the actual fuck, from their first trailer or whatever. And, like, that was the whole thing. The only new thing you saw was, like, a weird octopus puppet, like, jerking off a cow puppet.
What is with all the like gross puppet stuff?
It's messed
I just
up.
want to watch an octopus jerk off a cow.
It happens right in the beginning.
This
so
sounds like you're just doing jerk off ad libs. Octopus jerks off a cow.
Moo.
anyway, so it's squirting milk all over the place. And
God.
it's nasty. It's nasty.
Oh my
You
god.
nasty.
Happy Time Murder nasty.
Yeah, you nasty.
But anyway, otherwise it didn't show much of anything. I'm not super stoked about this movie either, really. But I'm curious how it's going to be received. Like, I'm not jumping out of my seat to go see it or anything like that. But
Yeah.
it looks messed up. The last trailer I got is a semi-sequel to a Mel Gibson movie from, like...
I heard about this.
From, like, 18 years ago. See Danger, making
She's
her a
burdening
grand
us
exit.
and getting out of here.
So it's What Men Want,
Yeah.
a follow-up to What Women Want, where Mel Gibson could read women's minds, and this is the opposite, where a woman can read men's minds, which
Yeah.
I find far less interesting, I suppose. Maybe it's because I am a man.
Because you're sexist?
No, not that. It's just that men think stupider. So I'm not.
Men don't think good.
Men don't think none good. So I'm not like. I mean, the trailer actually was pretty funny,
Yeah.
but like I think the shtick will get old. Like
Yeah.
maybe like I don't know, an hour into the movie.
I didn't
or so.
see it, but I listened to a podcast where they were reviewing the trailer, and they were like, they just make men look like the biggest pieces of shit.
They make him look pretty dumb. Like one of them was
Yeah.
just like,
One guy was like,
enjoy that
Yeah.
cloud of fart you walked
just
in.
fart in your face. Like, I've never thought that.
And most I've thought, I hope they don't smell that.
Yeah.
And then I run away
Yeah.
or bask in it and pretend it was them.
You bask in your glory.
Yeah. No, that was you.
Yeah, that's shit.
That wasn't me. That was you. Obviously, it was not me. Those are all the trailers I got. That's
Right
it.
on, Troy.
That is
Well,
it.
that means we're going into the tournament of random movies. We're into the semis with 4 movies left. Last week we had the last quarterfinal movies tournament match.
Got through it though.
Got it. I got
Nailed it.
there. I fell out of the field and then I rolled back in. Of First Blood versus Scarface. You see who won, Troy?
No, when I voted, it was close though.
Really? Well, it got away pretty fast.
Okay.
First Blood took it.
oh, okay.
actually.
All right. What was the percentage of that?
It was like I think there was like there wasn't many votes. I think there was like 6 or 7, but it was like 88%
Oh, okay.
First Blood.
I was a tie-breaking vote when I did it. It was like 2-2,
Okay.
and then I put in, and then it was First Blood. I voted for First Blood.
What made you pick First Blood over Scarface?
I'm just not... I've seen the last scene of Scarface already.
Yeah.
Because it's like super iconic.
You don't want to know how they got there?
Not really. Like I've seen it, and seeing it from a little before Say Hello to My Little Friend, like that, it kind of comes out of nowhere, and it doesn't really. It sounds better out of context than it does in the movie to me.
Yeah.
And plus, Chelsea's stepdad has Say Hello to My Little Friend for his ringtone.
Oh my god.
So it's just like, say hello to my little friend! Say hello to my little friend! Say hello to my Anytime somebody calls him.
I hate when people use like what should be text tones as
Yes!
ringtones.
Thank you. I thought I was
Because
the
it
only
makes
person
it
who ever thought that.
because it's like that's not meant to be a fucking ringtone, dude. I've met way too many people that have shit like that where it's like, dude, don't you think that should be like a text tone? I like it.
Yeah, it's
I
sickening.
don't give a shit, man. It makes it sound like it's not even. It doesn't like it repeats itself so often that it doesn't even sound like what it's supposed to sound like.
I know. Some people just want to watch the world burn, man.
I know.
And that's them.
Oh my god.
Jesus. Anyway, Tangerine. Some people want to watch the world burn.
So is what Tangerine. But
What are we talking about?
yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you. Scarface, I think, is highly overrated. I'm
Yeah.
not that big of a fan of it, and I love that. There's rappers that like hold Tony Montana up in like this high regard, where it's like I want to be like Tony Montana when I fucking getting all this money, blah blah blah. The world is yours.
Yeah.
Tony Montana is a fucking creep. He wants to fuck his sister, and he's just.
And he gets blown away at the end.
He gets his ass shot to death and he wants to fuck his sister. So why do you want that?
Cool.
Yeah.
Bro.
Why do you want that? And there's like people that got
Also-
like fucking leather jackets with his fucking face on the back where I'm like, he is not a role model.
Also, that poster is in like every college dorm room, and it's
Yeah.
like, fuck you.
Yeah. Like the last scene of the movie, he like sticks his head in a big mountain of cocaine and then gets his ass blown to death.
By guns.
That's
not
what I
mouths.
want. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want, man. That's my life. World is yours. Like, that's not the fucking.
That sucks.
Yeah. You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, so anyway, that's why I picked Rambo.
So there you go. So here you go. First Blood.
Yeah.
So now there we go. So the last 4 films in the Turn Random movies, we got Aladdin, Falling Down, Basketball, and First Blood.
Oh, my. Okay.
So there we go. So our next matchup will of course be Aladdin versus Falling Down.
Okay.
And yeah, so then we'll see from there. We got 3 more weeks left of this, Troy. And then we'll see who the winner is.
All right.
I
Do you have...
I don't want it to win, but I think Aladdin's gonna win.
Really? You think Aladdin's going to take it
I think it
all?
is because there's a lot of people that are nostalgic for it. But I think I want First Blood to win.
I don't think Aladdin will make it to the end. Well, no, I think Aladdin may make it to the end, but
Yeah.
it won't win.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The next 2 matches are going to be interesting because I've never seen Falling Down,
Yeah.
but I've seen the rest of them. And the next match next week, First Blood and Basketball, could be a toss-up too.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're completely
I
different
know.
movies.
That's what I like about this. Is all 4 movies are pretty different.
Okay. All right, we'll just have to see how it goes, I suppose.
So there you go. There you go. Aladdin versus Falling Down next week. We'll see who moves on. And it's be an interesting 4 films.
Yeah. All right.
That'll be a toss-up.
Ooh-wee. Check out that poll up on Twitter. Vote for your favorite. We're also going to have some polls up as well. We'll bring this up again at the end of the show.
We'll have another poll up that we'll talk about at the end.
All right. I didn't want it to get lost in the end with all the big mumbo jumbo, but I was going to There will be more than one poll up for
Yeah.
the next week for stuff. So don't just vote for one. Vote for all of them that are up.
There you go.
So that'll bring us right into 7 Brides for 7 Bros, dude.
Bless your beautiful heart.
Debuting July 15th, 1954.
Oh, summer release.
Summer release, baby. With a budget of $2.54 million.
Man.
It made completely, domestically and worldwide, $9.4 million. So it made
raked in that dough.
$7 million more than its budget. So that's great. Rotten Tomatoes has an 88%. IMDb has it at a 7.4 out of 10. And the stop button gave it 2.5 stars.
Out of what?
Don't know.
Jesus.
They don't ever put it, so I'm not going to extrapolate. So there you have it. I don't have really much more just numerical facts on this, but I did put down a bunch of trivia. I do have that it did win some awards.
Okay.
It actually won for the Oscars in 1955 Best Music.
Oh.
It won. And it was nominated for Best Screenplay, Cinematography, Editing, and Best Picture for the 1955 Oscars.
All right.
Yes. It also won a Golden Globe, but it was for like a supporting actor role, I think.
Was it Frankincense?
I don't know. It might have been. I'm not sure.
Frankincense won it.
I was actually running out of room to write stuff because I have a ton of stuff over here. So, JT, what is the premise of 7 Brides for 7 Brothers?
Well, we come across a guy by the name of Adam Pontopy, who is wandering around a small town, gathering the normal essentials that you would want if you're living on a farm pretty far away. You know, food, clothing, a wife. You know, you shop for that.
Right. Of course.
So, old Adam Pontopy is searching for a wife while he is on this supply run for his farm and comes across a young woman by the name of, is it Millie?
Yes.
Yeah, comes across a woman by the name of Millie who seems to be kind of a prominent figure in the town.
Mm-hmm.
But she decides to settle down with Adam and go back to his farm, where she, to her dismay, sees that he also has 6 other brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like she's back to her old her old job of feeding a bunch of dudes at a bar, but this time it's in a farm.
Mm-hmm.
So she decides to liven things up by showing the guys to be more sophisticated, to maybe nab wives of their own, but that might also lead to other ways of nabbing wives down the road.
Oh.
That's
There you go. That's
yeah.
it.
I don't want to give away the big thing that happens in Act 3. I think
we'll get
it
there.
does get spoiled in like things that I've read, but I think you need to enter this movie not knowing what the third act is going to be, because I was lucky enough to avoid what it was watching it with Molly Pop, who kind of fashions herself a bit of a feminist. So yeah, watching this third act of 7 Brides, 7 Brothers, she was pretty appalled.
So one of my notes is, you think this was written by a man? Yeah, it definitely is. So going back into this, I haven't seen this for maybe 10 years in its entirety.
Yeah.
And I've forgotten actually quite a bit of it, because I was telling you before we started that, like, there's a lot of songs in this I really like, but then I listened to what the context of the song was, and I'm like, oh no. This is a catchy tune to maybe a bit of a sketchy song. But we'll get to that later. But
yeah.
Just speaking of the songs in general, I really like the songs in this.
Yeah, there's some pretty catchy ones. I think the more upbeat ones are more fun than they have some weird love ballads in here where I was just like, okay, they're kind of generic, but like a lot of like the more upbeat ones I was really into.
I actually have the album pulled up on Spotify now so I can remember the songs. There's oh shoot.
Like the one they reprise a lot is pretty catchy.
Bless Your Beautiful Hide. That's like the first song you hear, and then they reprise that throughout the whole thing.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's so catchy.
God, it's so bad.
I
was humming it nonstop since I watched it.
I think the song you're thinking of is Wonderful, Wonderful Day. I think both Millie and Adam sing that.
Yeah, there's like one where they're like in a field and she's just like singing this song where I'm like, okay.
I think that's the one.
She's like in a field picking flowers and she's singing this song and I'm like, okay.
Oh, it might be When You're in Love.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, actually.
Yeah. There's that one. There's like another one somewhere too where she's like, it's just like her kind of like confessing her love to him where I was like, it was just...
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's just kind of generic. Where I was like, okay, I mean, for the 50s was probably really good, but like compared to how everything else is so upbeat and so in your face, like the love songs in this just kind of felt like very generic.
Yeah, I would agree with you. The love songs don't do much. They're nice songs, but at the same time, they're like, that's.
Yeah, it doesn't compare to like Bless Your Beautiful Hide or Goin' Courtin'.
No, Goin' Courtin' is good. Sobbin' Women is good. It's got a catchy tune.
It is good.
Even Lonesome Polecat.
Yeah, I'll say that's the exception as Lonesome Polecat, just because they have a really cool dance number with axes.
Yeah, and it's not so much like a love song. It's like
I'm Lonely
like
song.
Yeah, sad, like not bluesy, but it's like a depressing, like a mood. They're down in the dumps, and it's like just a somber song.
Yeah,
and
and they vaguely talk about fucking farm animals.
Well, that could be debated. But yeah, I love, like, as soon as I knew we were gonna do this movie, I've been listening to Bless Your Beautiful Hide and actually this whole soundtrack this whole last week. Like, I love Bless Your Beautiful Hide so much. God. It's so good.
Yeah.
And the fact...
And he sings like an opera singer when he does it, too. Bless your beautiful heart.
Well, you know what I like about it, though, is, like, he is... I gotta look up the actor's name. I should know it off the top of my head, but I don't. Howard Keel. Yeah. He doesn't have, like, that tenor tone. No. He's like a full-on baritone singing, and it was super refreshing.
Yeah, like he like sucks all the energy out of the room when he sings. It's just like it blows through your head.
He just has a booming voice, which I really like. Yeah. And what I gotta bring him one of my notes. I might want to get there as we're talking about the movie, but I'm just going to start right at the beginning. So, like, right as the beginning starts, there's so many things I want to talk about in this movie that I completely forgot. So, it starts out with just him coming right into town.
Yeah, you have no idea who anyone else in his life. It's just this guy named dressed Adam like Ponape.
Davy Crockett.
Yeah, just dressed like Davy. He's got a huge beard.
Yep. He comes into town to trade furs. And I wrote down this because I thought it was so obscure that he trades 10 pounds of fur because he's a trapper during the winter.
Yeah.
He trades 10 pounds of fur and he asks, what do you get for a pound? And the lady at the store says, about $6 a pound. He's like, all right, with that, I'll take a new plow, $2 of lard, barrel of molasses, 25 pounds of chewing tobacco. I'm like, you can get that for $60? I was already stunned when he said a new plow. I'll take a new plow, 2 huge buckets of lard.
This guy wants a fuck ton of chewing tobacco.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, there is 7 men that live at this farm.
But 25 pounds?
He gotta, like... They got that winter itself lasted like 9 months?
I think it did. That's another thing I wanted to bring up too, because later on you find out there's a baby on the way.
Ugh.
Like, well, we get to it, but
Yeah.
like, so it happens during the winter, and like the baby takes all of winter to gestate into baby form.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was a long fucking winter.
It was. It was. Because I think they said that it started
November.
It started in November, and then it went to July, I think. Or no.
Well, it said it was going to be born in the spring.
Yeah.
So, December, January, February, March.
Well, he probably banged her when he first
April.
got her.
So that's... Jesus, that's so insensitive. He banged her when he first got her.
Troy, did you watch the same movie I did?
Listen, I recant what I just said. Anyway, so that's like 6 months. So 3 months before that, that's probably about right.
Yeah.
That's probably about right.
Yeah. Because she was probably gestating while she was showing showing the brothers how to pick up chicks. Just so gross.
Anyway, so he's still at this trading post, right? This general store, and he's like, "Well, I'm also looking for a wife." And you got one of them on the counter there? Like, he just came into town to get this stuff and possibly go home with a wife.
Yeah, I want to see the events that led up to him being like, "Okay, I'm getting a wife," because everyone else at the house seems pretty satisfied just being all brothers staying in this house by themselves, and then he shows up with a wife, and it's like, "Oh, you got a wife? That's weird."
Well, I think it would be very awkward to live in a secluded mountain cabin with 6 of your own brothers for pretty much your whole life. Especially one of them said, like, "I don't think I've ever seen a woman." And I'm like, oh my god.
I know.
Plus, they're pretty much animals.
Oh god, they are.
But I love them. Like, they're lovable scamps.
I know. I'm watching this. I was like, I'm pretty sure I know why Troy's mom loves this movie, because it was probably growing up like you guys were like you guys. I just imagine like you and your brothers like dinner, and then you guys just run down and just
Flip a table.
flip the table.
And punch each other out of the room.
Yeah, and then your mom being like, "We're gonna eat like hogs. I'll feed you like hogs." And just like turn the table on you guys.
Yeah, that's exactly our day-to-day life when we were kids. No joke. So yeah, he's also come to town to get a wife, which is, I don't think,
Very admirable.
Well, yeah, he's got high hopes, right?
Yeah.
And from what I always used to joke about with my mom about this movie is that it's very Stockholm syndrome-y.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like that the whole way through, where a Millie would get abducted and then be taken off onto the mountains. And that's not necessarily true.
I think the only character in this movie that I think has redeeming qualities is Millie. Because I can see where she's coming from, where she meets this guy who lives in this cabin in the middle of nowhere, and she's like kind of sick of just waiting on guys left and right.
Right.
Like, she just kind of wants to live a very simple life. So this guy comes in and he's like, "Look, I think you're awesome. I want to marry you. You can live with me in my cabin, and we can live off the land." And she's like, "That sounds like a way better life than fucking feeding a bunch of drunks at a bar a slop that I make."
Well, apparently it's really good
It's
stew.
really good. Yeah, it's really good stew.
But, like, she's also instantly smitten with him, too. Like,
Yeah, like he's like, to her, he's a pretty hot dude.
Yeah.
So she was like, okay.
He is a rugged fucking man. 'Cause
Yeah.
in my notes, I just want to read this verbatim of what I said. My note is, so far it's not as Stockholm syndrome-y as I thought. From my vague memory, I thought that he, Adam, essentially abducted her, but she does go willingly because it's love at first sight. Mostly because he's the most handsome man I've ever seen. So rugged. So raw. Pure testosterone in a tasseled coat.
But I can see where she's coming, because it's like, this is the 1850s.
Yeah.
Where it's like, when a good dude comes through the town, like, you jump on that shit.
Yeah,
she's
get
probably,
on it.
yeah, she works at a bar, so she's surrounded by drunks and gross-looking dudes all day. And then this guy comes in, and she's like, "Oh, fuck, this is like the best-looking guy I've seen my entire life. I guess I'll marry him."
Well, for the most part, like he does, like talk her up, and like talk himself up as well.
Yeah, but they don't present it so much that she's just like, oh, you're this wonderful man. I just need to keep you in my life any way possible, even if that means I have to flush my life down the toilet to marry you. It's still they present it more where it's like she's kind of tired of her mundane life of just working at this bar and feeding guys stew all day. She wants more adventure. So this guy comes through that says, I own a cabin and a farm way outside of town. It kind of presents like a new opportunity for her where she was like, okay, I'll do this. I can start a family. I can do something different than to just feel like I'm flushing my life away, feeding a bunch of drunks at this bar in this town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the fact that she was instantly smitten makes everybody kind of weary of like, do you really want to do this? And she's like, yeah. Like, of all the people who asked to marry me, I've never felt like the same as when he asked me.
Yeah.
And I think that means something. So I'm going to go with him. And I'm like, okay. So it's not like an abduction.
Yeah.
Like this is a really two-way street here. Like it's actually admirable that like she would just get up and move with this guy that she doesn't really know so well, but thinks she can have a good adventure and a life that can come from it.
And then even though she is smitten, like there are instances throughout the whole movie even where she calls him out on his bullshit.
Yeah, which I really appreciate because I mean, not to jump fully ahead, but like as there's a few times when Adam in here and the brothers like oh fuck, I need to find the quote because I thought I laughed to myself when I wrote it down because that's what I do to myself. Okay, here we go. So right as soon as you're about to like Adam, he does something so shitty or seems like maybe you shouldn't like this movie, but then Millie comes around and shoves all of his bullshit back up his ass, and then I'm back on board. Because she does call him on his shit, like, a lot in this movie.
Without giving away the rest of the movie, I would be hard-pressed to say that Adam is the villain of this movie.
Yeah, like, at some point he is, but they kind of try to redeem it at the end. But it does...
We'll talk about that at the end, because it's... I had a real tough time with this ending. We'll get to it, though.
Okay, so an analogy I thought of during this week of the movie is this.
Yeah.
This movie is like your loving grandma who do you love to see, but she occasionally says the N-word. But you still love her anyway.
Well, in this movie's instance, she says the C word. Because it is not so much racist as it is very, very sexist.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. So anyway, as you said before, she gets, she actually marries Adam and gets taken up to his cabin, which is 12 miles out of town up in the mountains.
Yeah.
And then she finds out that,
he's got 6 brothers.
Now I got 7 dudes to take care of, not just a
I
husband.
love how they reveal that too, where it's not like just all of them at once. It's just one guy comes out, oh, it's your brother. Oh, it's your brother. Oh, it's your brother. Oh, that's your other brother. Oh, you have 2 more brothers. And then it gets to the point where it's like, so is that all of them? Where it's like,
yeah, that's all of them. I also love when they at this point when they're running to the cabin, like obviously the cabin is a dump, right?
Oh yeah,
it's just nothing but dudes.
It's just
living
7 dudes, and all of them are lazy as fuck.
Anytime they're just throwing shit around. Even like when Adam gets done smoking a pipe, he just like packs the tobacco out of it and then just throws it across the room.
I know, I love that shit. Like even when they reveal the brothers, it's done in a way where it's so nonchalant, where it's like to her this is her first time ever being here, but then it's like there's a guy sleeping in the corner, and there's like a guy just they just running out of the barn, like it's not like this big presentation where it's like, oh, there's a lady coming, we better look presentable. It's just like guys fucking sleeping with their hand down their pants on a couch, who's this bitch?
So I just want to talk about the brothers for a quick second. That Adam, played by Howard Keel, was a singer-actor,
Yeah.
but not necessarily a dancer. But 4 of the brothers were.
Yeah.
The ones that played Frank, Daniel, Caleb, and Ephraim were all professional dancers. And I think the guy who played Ephraim is actually was on loan from a ballet.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah, because there are some really fucking good dance numbers in this thing.
And then the guy who played the youngest brother, Gideon, was a gymnast.
Yeah.
And then the second oldest, who played Ben, Jeff Richards, was not a dancer and just barely an actor. He formerly played baseball. And so that's why you don't see him dancing a lot.
Yeah.
Even in, like, when Millie is teaching him how to dance and court women, he's just sitting there, like, slapping his knee. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I didn't realize that, like, he doesn't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
But anyway, besides that, all of them come together as being, like, one of my favorite, like, groups of people in almost any movie, because they're just rowdy, ready to fight at all times. But have hearts of gold, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like, the brothers, even though the brothers don't have, like, big parts themselves, like, them as a group, it makes you like them.
Yeah.
Because they never really come off as assholes in any way, but they're always, like, starting fights with each other.
Right.
Or, like, doing these really sweet dance numbers, or just, like, throwing lines at each other back and forth. It's never, like, done in, like, a malicious way where it's like, fuck that guy.
Right.
Like, they almost kind of embody just a character by themselves.
Yeah.
Of just, like, you don't really remember, like, one brother sticking out over the other, but you remember just the 6 of them as a whole and being like, I like those guys.
Yeah. I like when they are introduced and they're all going through all their names, and it finally gets to they out Frank as his name being Frankincense.
Yeah.
And he just gets up and punches his brother in the face, and then they all start punching each other.
Yeah.
And
then like Adam's kind of like taking her on a tour through the cabin while the brothers are fighting each other off of the frankincense.
Still.
Yeah,
and he's
still.
her full tour.
Yeah.
Until they finally like come into the kitchen and start kicking shit.
Hey, come on!
And he's like, hey guys, come on, knock it off! Which I completely love.
Grab me another beer real quick, Troy.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I love all that whole scene where they just get introduced in the beginning. It's just hilarious.
And so there's not a whole lot that goes on in this movie, really.
Not really.
Because once the brothers are introduced to Millie, she converts them to young gentlemen. They learn some manners.
Yep.
And then they just randomly go into town with her one day.
Well, no, not one day. They go in for the annual barn raising.
Well, no, before that, they meet all their
that's
women
right.
when they
Yes.
just go into town to do something.
I do remember that, because it's like Millie is going into town just to get supplies, and then one brother says, I'll come with you. Like, then I'll come with you.
Yeah.
And they all come with her.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
Yeah.
Jesus, this is so overkill.
Yeah. But then they meet, like, all of their matches eventually. And then, kind of. They meet some of them. And, like, they already have opposition out there because they've already been spoken for.
Yeah.
so to say.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't mean nothing. So Adam would put, like when he was in
I even, like, read up on trivia that was the reason why all the brothers had red hair, because it was easier for them to stick out when they had, like, these dance numbers where they're, like, legit dancing, weaving in and out of, like, these other guys that are, like, destined to be with these women.
I didn't think it wouldn't have been that hard to pick them out, because all
'cause
the guys are in full suits.
Oh my god, they're like dressed like the fucking pride pride flag. They have so many. They have every color of the rainbow.
Oh yeah, all the brothers are in bright bright double-breasted shirts. It's so weird, but like I could tell them apart easily just by the shirts, but they also gave them red hair for whatever reason. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But then they eventually do, once they learn manners, go to the barn raising scene, which is
my God,
my favorite scene in the entire
that whole
movie.
scene is cool. Like the dance number and the actual raising where they get into that fight is so good.
Yeah.
Like that was where because like me and Molly watched it where we were like we both had like the biggest smiles on our face watching that dance number and the fight afterwards.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So I was telling Chelsea before you showed up is that like I used to watch this movie a ton when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Especially just for this scene. Like all the brothers dancing with the brides. Mm-hmm. And then the barn raising scene right after. And so I had so much nostalgia going on, and I had the biggest, goofiest grin on my face watching this that I started welling up with happiness. like
the one thing that stuck out to me the most was there's this awesome scene where like these three towns guy, like the three guys from like the town are like bowing to three of the women, and the brothers leapfrog them and go right into a fucking waltz where I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah. The dancing in this is spectacular, and it's not even really that like complicated of a number.
No,
it's just like line dancing.
It's not overly complicated. But then they get into like some shit where they're like doing like these dick measuring contests.
Oh, I love
where
that
they're
shit.
like doing backflips off of fucking planks of wood. We were like, holy shit. And then they even like do like contests where they're like doing like strongman shit. But it's in dance form where you're like, oh my God, like this is like the most like I didn't even like turn to Molly and I was like, this is the gayest dick measuring contest I've ever seen. It's so fucking well done and good. Even like the whole like fight where they have to like grab each other with a forearm and they're like trying to drag each other off of logs. But it's like even that's done in a dance form where you're like, oh my God, it's so good.
Like just for instance, like one of the town's guys is like gets on like a balance beam or a log or whatever and is like jumping over an axe like a jump rope.
Yeah.
And then the youngest brother, Gideon, pushes him off, takes the axe, and does it forwards and backwards like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And then hucks it into a stump. And I'm like,
oh my God,
yes!
I know. There's so many things like that. It's so fucking good.
And the whole time, it's playing to the reprise of "It's Bless Your Beautiful High."
Oh yeah.
And so it's just like bum, 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 and it's just like pumping you up to max levels of enjoyment.
I know. They go like back and forth between like waltzes with the girls and then like dick measuring contests with the guys.
Yeah.
And they all bleed together in such a way where like nothing feels like it's out of place.
Nah.
Like they'll legit go
works.
from like this really cool waltz to I'm doing a backflip off a stump because the other guy did another backflip off a stump.
yeah, it's
like,
so good.
Oh my God.
It's amazing. So this scene alone just took 3 weeks of choreography training to do.
Oh, I can imagine.
But the whole film time was only like 45 weeks. So like just a huge chunk of this was just this scene. But this scene is a huge integral part of the movie.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And
like,
then
not even it's not even like the integral to the story, but it's it's the best part of the movie.
Yeah. And then after the whole dance number's done, they do a barn raising competition or whatever.
Yep.
Where 4 groups of people see who can get their wall up first and then like I guess fully sided because I'm like, well, the brothers got it up right away.
Yeah.
But I guess you need to also nail it down and then side it or something like that. And so
you win a calf.
Yeah, and you win a calf, old Annabelle or whatever.
Old Annabelle, yep.
You win a good old heifer. And then so this is kind of cool too because at this point Millie has taught all the guys to be cordial and don't just act out on your feelings and start punching people. It's like you got to just be like, nope, you got to be nice to everybody. Don't go out and
and the town guys are all fucking with them.
Yeah, like smashing their hands with hammers. Yeah, and like cracking their heads open with wood.
Yeah,
and all this
Jesus.
Shit. And Adam is like having none of it. He's like,
Adam's
"What the hell's going on? You're being Nancy boys or
what the hell, you pussy?"
yeah. And so
you let him fuck with you, you stupid pussy.
And so finally, when like Adam,
Adam's the one that usually it's like starts like picking fights with them, and then they start beating up Adam, and then all the other brothers defend his honor.
Dog pile on, and then it would just like is this whole. I thought really well done fight scene.
Know. Yeah, it was really cool looking too because it's like all with like they're using like the environment around them.
Yeah.
to have this really cool fight scene. Like they're like being thrown through walls and
Yeah,
shit. It's really good.
Like jumping off the roof onto people and shit like that. It's really good for like 1954. I mean, obviously you can everyone's just going full on haymaker in each other. I mean, you can tell like the punches aren't really.
There are some punches that look real bad,
but it doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter. But it's like even the fight is even kind of choreographed like in a dance style.
Yeah. But it's not as dancey. It's like it looks more of like a real fight than anything else. But it's still super well done. I love that too.
Yeah.
And then the whole barn collapses, and then Millie's just like upset, double tears down the face.
Yep.
They succumb to their old ways.
Those bastards.
Sons of bitches.
All my hard work for nothing.
Well, I guess it'd be just one sons of a bitch. I suppose if you're saying it.
Sons of a bitch.
Just one.
Yeah.
Before we get, because this is like the end of Act 2, essentially, this is right here.
Yeah, yep.
So before we get into that, I'm going to go on with some other facts that I got accumulated here. That Julie Newmar, who played Dorcas in the movie, was already an accomplished dancer, but Jeff Richards, who played Benjamin, was a former baseball player with no dancing skills, so she never got to really show off any of her dancing.
Aww.
Except for the one, like, all brides, like, number.
Oh, yeah, where they're in that, they're, like, in the house.
Boys' bedroom,
yeah.
And that...
Like, imagining being with them while they're smelling their beds, good
God.
That third act, okay, we'll get into that. Jesus Christ.
I didn't hate that song either, like June Bride or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
I thought that was okay. Like it really did feel like it was shoehorned in to give the women like something to do.
I could tell the purpose of it, but by that point it was so far gone. I was like, okay. No, we'll get into it though. We're gonna get into it.
MGM never expected this movie to do well.
Yeah, I was going to bring it up when Chelsea was still in the room that this is like pretty tied into Brigadoon.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because the reason why this movie didn't get as much funding as it did was because they expected Brigadoon to be more successful.
Yeah.
So they gave that movie a shit ton more money, and that's why like a lot of these scenes have like weird backdrops instead of like being actually filmed on location.
Yeah, they're just like painted backdrops instead. And like you can tell, but I thought it like maybe it's just because I've seen the movie so many times, I thought it gave the movie like a weird charm to it.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't bad.
Yeah. So it was all shot on like the MGM soundstage with painted backdrops. There's only one scene filmed on location, and it was the avalanche scene.
Yeah.
But even then, you could see it was like blue screened.
Yeah.
On top of
and
the avalanche.
Like that snow looked weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, was that real? Like,
I don't think it was. No, it couldn't have been. That looked weird as shit. It looked like they blew up styrofoam.
Yeah, what was it? Who knows? We'll never know. So anyway, yeah, they slashed its budget, giving it to Brigadoon and another movie, Rosemarie, that was in production at the time.
Yeah.
What do I have here? Forcing to use the painted backgrounds instead. And then Seven Brides ended up being a bigger commercial and critical success than both of those movies.
I know, that was funny. Like, reading that where I'm like, holy shit, like Brigadoon got fucked by Seven Brides.
And this actually was going to play... So Brigadoon was going to be playing at Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah.
And then because of such the success of Seven Brides, it kicked Brigadoon out of Radio City to play Seven Brides there instead.
Oh my god.
So I thought that was also... Chelsea just left. She'll never listen to this either.
I know,
she'll never know.
Yeah.
She'll never know.
We can't nana boo-boo her.
This title was originally going to be Sobbin' Women.
Yeah.
Because this movie is actually based on... So there's a book that Millie brings to the cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
And it's about the Rome stuff that they bring up in the movie.
Yeah.
And so this movie is actually based on that real story. It's like a real Roman story.
Yeah.
And so they kind of made a movie based on that Roman story.
Because they make the reference to the story in the movie.
Yeah. So it was originally going to be called Sobbin' Women, but the MGM didn't think anybody would go see a movie called that.
They wouldn't want to watch a movie about crying women.
So then they renamed it to A Bride for Seven Brothers.
Yeah.
But they didn't like that because it insinuated...
Yeah, insinuated they were going to gang bang Millie.
So they nixed that and just went for Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
There's another thing, too, where I think it was during Lonely Polecat, they were going to have a scene where they were actually petting sheep while they had the line about sleeping with sheep. And they were like... They almost cut that line out of the song because it was like insinuated they were going to fuck sheep.
Yeah. Which... When you listen to the song, it does sound like it could go that way.
Yeah.
They don't mean it that way. And because of my love of the song, I'm going to defend it to my dying breath. It sounds like they were going to fuck cows and sheep instead of marry women. In the song, they say, like, I don't want to bow to cows or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they live on a farm. They're not blowing cows or anything like that.
Well... We'll see.
Probably get that sweet cow's milk, though. Get that sweet tit squeeze in there.
Jerk it off with an octopus. Or a squid.
What else do I got here?
But no,
That's about it
I did enjoy Lonely Polecat. Because it's a creative song, because they actually do, like, kind of a choreography with the axes, where they actually... kind of hit on the beat and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was really well done.
Me too. And I totally forgot about that number before I watched it today.
Yeah.
And so, like, hearing it again, I also just like the somber, like, humming parts to it as well.
Yeah.
Because this is, like, this might be the only song in, like, a minor key. So it might have also been, like, something I've been, like, looking for.
Yeah.
Because everything else is, like, a happy, kind of peppy. Even the love songs are... You know, like they end in like a major key or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, like it. It's good.
Yeah. I think there's even one of the brothers is doing like a ballet plie with like an axe.
Yeah,
at one
he's
point.
the one I think.
Like he's just
on
like,
loan from the ballet.
Yeah, like he's just like in the middle of the field, just like spinning on his toes. Or I'm like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Let's see if we can play a little bit of Lonesome Polecat, just so
Lonesome
you guys can hear
Polecat.
it.
Ooh, there we go. Get that harmonica in there. I love that. Yeah, they just cut it off like right away.
Yeah.
I love that shit. And but yeah, it's a good song, and it builds up to like what the story is, where they're at a point where they realize that because they're gonna be stuck. Usually, like during the winter, they're stuck on the farm the whole day because there's like a pass where if you make like even like the smallest of sounds, like it causes an avalanche, and they don't want to risk it, so they're usually stuck at the farm all winter.
Mm-hmm.
So they form these relationships with these women and realize that they can't go back into town to like keep the relationship going, so they're stuck on the farm, and they know that once spring comes around, they'll probably be married by that point almost.
Yeah. Because they already have other suitors in town already.
Yeah.
So this is when the sobbing women comes in.
This is the turning point of the whole movie.
And so Adam, misinterpreting a book.
Yeah, because Millie brings 2 books with her from where she lived, and that's the Bible and this Roman story about the sobbing women.
Yeah.
That Adam just tends to read out of nowhere, and he's like, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And so, like, the book is about, like like the raping and pillaging of like Roman women pretty much.
Yeah.
And he takes it the completely wrong way.
Yeah.
And finds the wrong hero of the story.
Yeah.
Pretty
Oh,
much.
they were crying for more men. That's why they love to go with it. Like, oh my god. Like,
And so
I think if they were like to remake this in like modern times, it'd be like, I don't like that group of people. Hey, there's these guys called the Nazis that did something about a group of people they didn't like. We should do it too. Like, no.
yeah. It's
Like this is why rednecks shouldn't read. Because they'll just misinterpret it and just hear what they want to hear.
That's right. States' rights. So anyway, Sobbing Women, even though it is a very catchy tune, it is essentially just Adam
Yeah.
telling the brothers in song form to go abduct women.
Yeah. And
Because
like,
they want it.
Yeah, and like praising it, like really making it seem like it's a really cool thing to do.
Right.
Where it's like, oh, those once you grab them, they'll be crying for your dick.
Yes.
Pretty much what he's saying. He's like,
yeah.
He's like completely like, when you think of sobbing women, you don't think of, oh, they're so happy to see you, they're crying. But that's how he like phrases it, where it's like, no, they're crying because you're abducting them from their lives.
Yeah.
After you raped and pillaged their towns.
And they do less raping and pillaging when they go to grab these women, but they do go into town in the middle of the night and grab these women before they go to bed.
Abduct them.
Yes, they throw blankets over their heads and throw them in their sled and then get pulled back and up to their cabin.
Yeah.
The only, like, I feel like the movie does try to
Justify a terrible thing?
yes, but they try to soften it a little bit by building a relationship with these women beforehand. And so the women do have feelings for the brothers.
Yeah.
But abducting them is not the answer.
Yeah. There's a difference between a feigned interest and, like, deep emotions. And they're almost justifying what they did by them actually forming relationships with them.
Yes, but once they get there, Millie tears their asses up for it.
She does.
Oh, let me continue.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Let me go through it really quick because I know what your point is. So, like, they tear their asses up, and Adam gets so mad at Millie that he just goes and runs off to his trapping cabin up the mountain a little bit more.
Yeah.
And he's, like, out of the movie for, like, half the third act.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just the brothers and the women now living in the house, and the brothers aren't allowed in. They have to live in the barn.
Yeah.
And it's not until, like, Millie finds out that she's pregnant that really anything changes from that. Like, all the men are being shunned for their terrible actions, and they can't be undone because now they can't get back into town because an avalanche has trapped them.
Yeah.
And so, to deal with their
That they
shitty...
caused. They caused the avalanche.
Yeah, I know. But, like, they like, screwed these women into being here. So, because of it, Millie punishes them by pretty much sleeping outside like a dog.
Yeah.
While they get the comforts of home for a while. Like, a month, maybe? Like, winter comes, and they're still
I think
sleeping
they're
outside
out there
the barn.
pretty much the whole time. I don't think they ever come back in the house.
Well, everything kind of ramps up at the end once, like, the baby comes. But
yeah.
you know what? They might be outside that whole time. Because
I think they're out there the whole
sisters
time.
Are using their bedroom.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, because they're staying in the house. Because they abducted them thinking that they, like, the minute they abduct them, they're going to agree to marry them. Because they were like, well, we'll find a way to get the parson sometime later. But we can just do the married thing while we're waiting.
Yeah.
But then they're like, fuck no, we're just going to take your rooms.
Right. So, they do. So, a semi-punishment is happening. But, this is where you can come in.
This is awful. So, yeah, they are pretty much setting up that these... Okay, the fact that Adam leaves makes him, like, the villain of this whole fucking movie. Because he doesn't even come back for the birth of his daughter. Even when he hears that it's a daughter, he's like, Oh shit.
Couldn't have a son.
Yeah, like fuck you, man.
Yeah, I thought that was a very dickish line.
Good lord.
Yeah.
But I'll get on to Adam later. But the fucking brothers are like, granted, like the brothers still kind of maintain a little bit of a charm because they are kind of tricked by Adam. Not tricked, but like kind of convinced.
They're like more simple-minded.
Yeah, they're convinced by Adam that this is a really good idea.
Yeah.
And they go into it where they're like, they don't really realize they fucked up until it's too late.
Yeah.
So I kind of am more on their side, but it does not take away from the fact that the women are still being held captive and trapped in this house.
Yeah.
Even though they're living cushier lives than the men are living in the barn for the whole winter. It does not take away from the fact that they can't see their family.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I don't disagree.
But the fact that the movie still makes it where like the women are like, we're gonna play little pranks on them, and then that'll make us soften to them and actually grow to love them, is insanity.
Well, I guess pranks is debatable because they did throw like what looked like nasty wash water on them when it's outside freezing conditions and threw snowballs at them with rocks in it.
But this is the equivalent of like if they remade Room with Brie Larson, where she put a mouse trap in the front at the front door of her captor, and he's like, "Oh, you
rascal!
After I raped you and made you have a kid."
Oh my god! Never seen The Room or just Room.
But that's the equivalent of that, where it's like it does not take away from the fact that these women still know that these men kidnapped them and kept them from their family.
Yeah, it's a bit Stockholm syndrome-y. This is the point where it does get to that point where it's a bit troublesome in today's world.
Yeah,
or in any world.
Yeah, Stockholm syndrome, yes, but they almost justify what they did, and that's what I can't get over for this movie. It justifies that even with them recognizing what they did was terrible, in the end, they're not punished for it. Yeah, they slept in a barn for 9 months, but they got wives out of it. It's like, well, do this really terrible thing. You're going to have to go through some shit, but in the end, you're going to live a better life. That's not a punishment.
No, but like at the end, like of this fun musical, I'm not looking for anyone to get punished.
For doing a terrible fucking thing?
I know, but it's like a fun musical number. Like, can you imagine if you got done with that barn scene and the whole third act is just a depressing drama? Like, but granted, that's truer to life, but then it's not a fun movie to go to. It's not
fun watching these women flush all their morals down the drain because they're stuck somewhere, and it's like, well, I guess all I have left to do is fuck this guy that kidnapped me.
Yeah. So also, I'm trying to defend the movie a little bit here. When the avalanche the pass does eventually open in the springtime, and the guys do want to bring them back into town because they do realize the error of their ways.
Yeah.
But that is also the time when the townspeople are coming back up, and they're going to kill them.
But no, I even have a problem with that, because even that's done against their will.
Yeah,
because
the brothers are trying to like redeem themselves.
No, they're not. They're doing what they think is best.
They're like trying to bring them back to their families because they know they screwed up. Granted, the women don't want it now because now they want to stay with the brothers, which seems backwards. But they're trying to make up for past indiscretions.
What they're doing is they're deciding for them. Because they want to stay.
Yeah, I get that.
They want to stay, and then they're like, no, what you're supposed to do is go back home. So then they're doing what they did before, where they're wrapping them in blankets and trying to drag them out back to their town. Like, all the women in this movie, for the exception of Millie, have no free will, and the free will they try to express is considered stupid, and the men should be the ones to tell them what they should be doing.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, that's the point. It's written by a man.
Yeah. So it's like, even at that point when like you have the scene where you can show that they have just an inkling of an idea of what the right thing to do is. You make them do the exact opposite thing, and then you have to bring the men back in to make them do the right thing again.
Kind of. Yes, I don't.
Kind of?
I don't completely agree with you there, because the movie, it's already written itself into a corner at the third act.
Yeah.
By having them be abducted. So they're trying to make as many good people out of this as possible. The brothers are accomplices to abduction.
Yeah.
Or just not even accomplices, they are abductors.
Yeah.
And so they try to live with that, and for the movie to try to turn that around by already kind of setting up that they have prior relationships, and the fact that they've been shunned through all this 9 months, and the fact that they're trying to make up for their past indiscretions by bringing them back to town to say, like, I'm sorry, here's your family. Like, I'm not going to say, like, ignore what the women think, because that's not what I mean. But I'm saying, like, the movie does try to fix the brothers to not be as big a dicks. It doesn't do that with Adam. Adam by the
is
third
a
act
fucked piece of shit.
is a douchebag.
Yeah.
So, like, he does go off and fucks off in his cabin for, like, 6 months.
Yeah.
Until his baby is born. And granted, he doesn't know that Millie's pregnant.
No.
But, like, when his youngest brother goes up there...
Gabriel. Isn't Gabriel?
It's not Gabriel. It's some weird other biblical name. I can pull it up. It's probably going to bother me.
No, it's Gabriel because G.
It's Gideon.
Gideon, goddammit.
You fucker.
I knew it was a G.
I knew it was a G, too, and it wasn't Gabriel.
Son of a bitch.
Anyway, he goes up there and say, like, hey, man, like, you had a baby, and, like, Adam's obviously shocked.
Yeah. It's a daughter. Oh, it's a daughter?
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
He's pretty much said, like, the bitch couldn't give me a son.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much.
not in those words, but then that's the sentiment.
Pretty much.
And then, so, Gideon actually gets pissed off at him here and
Yeah.
punches him in the jaw.
Yeah.
And then Adam says, like, pretty much get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And then eventually makes it down to the cabin, like, a day later.
Yeah. He comes back down when he was like, well, said I was going to come down when the pass was clear, and the pass is clear. Like, he doesn't even come down because it's the right thing to do. He comes down because he said...
Yeah,
he did what he said. Yeah, I'm a man of my word.
Yeah.
I'm not going to come down till the pass is clear.
Yeah.
And the pass is clear.
And even
Fuck
at the
you,
even at the
man.
very end, like the movie tries to redeem him a little bit by saying, like, once I knew I had a daughter, now that I learned that if somebody would come to abduct her, I would hang him up from a tree. It's like I didn't say it worked.
Go ahead.
But, like, I had that exact same sentiment when I had my daughter. Like,
Yeah.
Anytime, like, not that I wasn't, like, not that I was, like, an Adam type character living out there.
Yeah.
But, like, you find, like, then when you have a kid that you totally think differently. It's like, yeah, if anything happened to her, like,
Yeah.
like even, like, shit that I did in the past, I would probably fucking kill somebody.
Yeah.
So, like, I could see that change in his head, but that does not help his case at all, because now we're at the very end of the movie.
In the same sense, your idea would not be to go abduct women before you had a daughter.
No. I mean,
Because
in his mind, it's pretty much like, boys will be boys.
In this movie, Adam's lesson that he learns is, oh, women are people. Mm-hmm. That's his lesson.
Yeah.
And because that's the lesson that he learns, he deserves to have a wife and a family.
Well, yeah, pretty much. That's why I
Because
said...
he didn't have that before.
That's why I said that this movie is like your loving grandma that you love to watch and see.
Yeah.
But she occasionally is a little bit racist because it was in a different time.
Man.
It's,
But
like,
even
so
the brothers,
troublesome.
like, I would have liked this a lot more if, like, the brothers, like, turned themselves in, where it's like, we did something wrong. Let's
but
go.
That doesn't fit with the theme
Let's
of the whole
go
movie.
talk to the townspeople and then, like, confess to our crimes, and then the women stand up for them. Not that they want to stay there, and then the men have to fucking kidnap them again to bring them back to town so they don't get caught. Because that's just them.
No, they definitely knew they were already caught.
No, they weren't, because what they were going to do was they were going to kidnap the women again and then put them like between the farm and the town so that the townspeople would get them and then not go back to the farm to get them.
Yeah.
That was their whole plan.
Yeah.
So that means that not only do they know they did something wrong, but they don't want to take accountability for it. So they're going to re-kidnap the women they kidnapped before and toss them out in the middle of nowhere so the townspeople find them and decide to not take the trouble of going all the way out to actually commit them of the crime that they did actually commit.
They weren't going to commit them of a crime. The townspeople were going to murder them. They went up there with guns to kill them.
Yes!
So I can see why they didn't want
Rightfully
to...
so, because they kidnapped their daughters
So
in the
I
middle of
can
the
see-
fucking night.
I can see why they didn't want to just hand them over to person, because they would have been shot and killed. I can see why they want to drop them off almost into town and then go back. But the sentiment is still there.
But it doesn't matter because the townspeople are just as mentally ill as the brothers, because right when they are about to hang them, all of the daughters say that, "Oh, that's my baby." So then they're like, "Oh, well, I guess we have to marry them off because we can't very well have one of our daughters raising a child by herself," which insinuates they're pretty okay with one of their daughters getting raped, having a kid, and then raising it with their rapist.
Well, in their minds, it would have been rape, I suppose. But that necessarily... they eventually grew to like each other. Or at least like each other up there. So it wouldn't have been rape.
Oh my god. No, this movie's mentally fucking ill.
Well, the last chunk of it.
No, that whole scene where they're like, we have all the brothers strung up, we're ready to hang them, and then the priest is like, but before we do that, we found a child. Whose child is this? And then all the daughters say, mine.
Yes.
So then they're like, well, shit, we can't hang them because we can't have one of our daughters raising her own rape baby.
Right.
So we have to fucking marry them all off to the who could possibly be their rapist, just to make sure that we don't have a child out of wedlock.
Even though it already would have happened.
So not only does this movie promote abduction, it promotes rape.
No, it does not promote rape. Jesus Christ.
Because this movie's fucked up. It's so fucked. And then after they get married off, then it's the end. Where it's like, this is the most cockamamie, gross scheme I've ever seen.
I never remembered the ending, and it does end very abruptly.
Yeah.
Like, the townspeople get to the farm to go, like, murder the boys, and the boys are trying to round up the ladies to get them back into town. And then, the priest hears the baby scream as they get to... Well, not scream, but, like, just having a baby cry or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's in the back of his mind this whole time. They're trying to, like, gather all the brothers up. And then, so, that's his tip-off of, like, well, whose baby is this? The women don't want to leave because they're loving their time up there at the farm at this point.
Yeah.
So they don't want to leave their men. And so they say it's theirs. And then a shotgun wedding. A six-way shotgun wedding happens at the end. And that's the very, very end of the movie. It's troublesome, I would say.
It's very troublesome.
But
it's bad.
It's the lightest ending you can have to a pretty light film. Like, if it would have taken that dark turn, this movie would have been dog shit.
But the thing is that...
No buts!
Hey! Just because you love this movie doesn't mean I can't point out what's wrong with it.
Go ahead. I know. I'm totally...
I think the fact that it is so light, and it does treat these very terrible things with such a light-hearted way, is what makes this movie troublesome.
Okay.
Because
I thought there was more.
No,
Sorry.
Because it is. Because that's what it is. It's like you're pretty much sugarcoating something that's awful.
Yeah.
If you wanna make a movie that's mildly like this, then don't make this.
Well, it's 1954 when they're making this.
I know, but it's like even if someone were to watch this today, they could justify being like. I like watching this. I was like, this totally justifies like those fucking those like what the fuck are those guys called? Like those involuntary celibates. Those
incels?
Yeah, those incel guys. They can watch this and be like, well, this woman is not going to go out of her way to fuck me, so I should abduct her so she does fuck me.
It's a good
Like,
thing they just never
This
leave
movie
the house.
is like a sobbing women of itself, where someone can go back and watch this and be like, oh, well, it's obvious the girl likes me, so I should abduct her and then force her to like me by doing fun things in front of her. And then she'll end up loving me, and then we'll get married. Like, that's pretty much what this justifies. It doesn't justify anything that the women think or what they feel. It's just, if you keep them locked up long enough, they'll love you, and then you can marry them.
How dare you bring up incels during one of my favorite movies of all time?
Oh my god, this movie is like the incel movie of the year.
Oh my god, shut the hell up.
I dare someone to tell me this is not a fucking incel movie. Some fucking
How
virgin is
dare
watching
you.
this being like, all I gotta do is abduct the woman that I love, and then she'll marry me after 9 months of being locked in a fucking cabin in the middle of nowhere.
Well, assholes got to get out of the house first. Get
Oh
your
my
ass out
God.
of 4chan.
4chan is like sharing links to this movie.
Fuck you. God damn it. The bad part is, like, I can't really dispute it. All I'm trying to do is, like, soften the blows at this point. But anyway, that's pretty much the entire movie. Unless you had anything else, I'm going to go over my last bit of notes on my phone here, see if I missed
That's pretty
anything.
much all I could think of.
Oh, I can only imagine when Millie finally gets to the cabin, her only thought is, fuck, what the fuck did I just do? Oh, fuck.
Yeah. But they do a good job of that.
Yeah.
It's like slowly breaking her down that she has legit just forced herself into another situation she had back in town.
Yeah. And I also really enjoyed, I don't know if we brought it up or not, but I really enjoy Millie's relationship with all the brothers.
Yeah, no, like I said, like Millie and the brothers as a whole are actually really good characters. Just everyone else around them that are just real fucked up.
Yeah. When she's actually trying to shape them all up, I really enjoyed that they didn't like really give any backlash. They're just like, yes, ma'am. Like, I'll do I'll do that. And like I really liked that she was like almost like a mother figure to them.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really, really cool. I really liked that.
Like they're kind of bounced back and forth between Millie and Adam as like who are we gonna follow? Like you can tell that they're used to following Adam as like the patriarch of the house.
Yeah.
And then when Millie steps in, she's kind of like an equal to Adam. So then when she steps in and then gives them different advice, then they still take it into consideration, and the fact that it's working, it almost kind of makes them respect her more than Adam.
Yeah.
Up until the sobbing women.
She like gives them a lot of tough love at first, which I really like.
Yeah.
She like it's like I'm not gonna put up with that shit.
No, Millie's
You're gonna
good.
Ship up or shape out. Or
Yeah.
shape up or ship out.
Like I
or
said, the
whatever
only
it is.
the only time where I was like kind of like, what the fuck, Millie, was at the very end where she like forgave Adam pretty fucking easily for all the really bad shit he did to her.
Granted, it's 2 minutes of runtime left, but
Yeah. Like, we were watching it and Molly was like, if you, like, I would not accept an apology unless you were on your hands and knees sobbing. begging me.
sobbing.
Yeah. Like I would not take an apology past begging and like you're near death trying to get me back.
Jesus.
Cuz Adam fucks her up.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked.
He is a terrible human being.
Near the end there.
And all he does is like, "Oh,
puts
I
his
guess
foot
women
in it.
are people. Oh, you do? I love you." Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, roll credits.
Yeah.
There's also a point in the movie where I literally laughed out loud. Two of them, for an example, is when Adam comes home from being married and he thinks he's gonna get some at the end, and all of his brothers are waiting for it.
Yeah.
And trying to like cock block him.
Oh
essentially.
yeah. And then he falls to the bed at the end.
Yeah. So Adam's all mad because he's not gonna get any. And then it was weird that like Millie kind of like recanted on that. It's like, all right, I suppose you can come in. I suppose.
Yeah.
And so he's like, all right, I'm gonna come in through this window, and then he crashes through the bed and breaks it.
Yeah.
And all the brothers
All the
are
brothers are like,
oh
my God.
he's really getting at it.
Adam just broke her pelvis.
So I laughed hard at that. And then another one is just like when Millie is teaching the brothers to be cordial to women and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, when a woman comes in the room, you remove your hat. And then he goes up to Frank and he's like, why didn't you remove your hat? Oh, I didn't comb my hair. And they're not even wearing hats. They're just tipping invisible hats or whatever. And like just that stupid simple line made me like belly laugh out loud.
Yeah. No, my favorite scene, which I don't even know if you remember it, but it's just like the brothers wake up for the first time in the morning after Millie's cooked breakfast for the first time, and they're just like naming off what they smell.
Yeah.
And the last brother just yells, "Hot bread!" It's just like
he loves fucking hot bread. I'll tell you that right now.
It's just like, oh, fresh coffee. Oh my God, fresh bacon. Oh, is that biscuits I smell? And then there's this guy, one guy just like, hot bread!
Oh, shit.
I lost my shit on that.
Well, I guess we should say, do you recommend this musical for people to watch?
As problematic as it is, the first two acts, I think, are entertaining enough that you should definitely check it out.
Okay. I also obviously say, yes, watch this movie.
Yeah.
It is probably my favorite musical of all time.
Just don't let it turn you into an incel.
Yeah. Fuck. So what would you grade the movie?
Those first two acts are really good. That last act is so fucking bad. I'm gonna, just because it's still entertaining, I'll give it a B-.
Oh, B-. All right. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that it's unwatchable, and I can say if you enter it with an open mind, you'll still have fun with it. You might even find the last act to be hilarious with how fucking unapologetically sexist it is, but still keep it in mind
how sexist the movie is by the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, it is, but you can still kind of see where everyone's coming from. It's up to where they abduct the women and then they're like, oh, okay, whatever. That you're just like, okay, that's enough. But I would still say it's a B-. There's really good dance numbers. Some, like, the music, for the most part, is still really good, minus, like, the love ballads. Some of them are kind of boring. But that first act is really problematic and just like, Jesus Christ.
I'm going to give this movie an A.
Okay.
I am jaded. My score is jaded. I do recognize the ending is problematic. I do realize that. And I knew it going in that it's Stockholm Syndrome. Like, I knew that.
Yeah.
But the movie is really fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
And if you're going in for a musical, I'm expecting you want fun out of it, and I had the most fun out of any musical I've ever seen. So,
yeah,
Seven Brides gets an A from me.
Okay, I'm not gonna hold it against you.
Sweet. All right. Well, I'm probably gonna be called an incel pretty soon by you, very soon. So,
I'm just saying that ending is very, very like. I'm not saying that like if you like this, you're dumb. I'm just saying that, like, given this climate where people are, like, explaining things away in a very dumb manner, like, this almost justifies terrible things people do nowadays.
All right.
So I don't want those people to watch this.
You've made your point. All right. I hear
I'm just saying.
Well, besides that, besides Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, have you been into anything else in this last week?
Grab me another beer. I'll explain.
All right. Well, you have to explain this.
No. Well, me and Molly watched the movie Tully with Charlize Theron.
Yes.
I know you. I think you and Chelsea said you were interested in seeing it.
Well, we made more jokes about it than anything
Pretty much.
else, so I don't know.
But no, I really liked it. I thought it was really interesting, and it does. Coming from someone who has not been a mother of like 3 kids,
Yeah.
I would say that it does kind of put you in the mindset of someone who is like accepting the fact that they're not gonna live those younger years that they did live because they have a family, and they're not like, and they're trying to accept the fact that they're okay with it. Like they're in that middle ground where they still want to go out and do all this fun stuff, but they have 3 kids to take care of.
Right. All right.
So I don't know. I think you and Chelsea would actually like it.
All right. Is it on streaming yet?
No, I rented the disc because I'm a piece of I'm a dumb piece of shit.
Fucking incel over here.
I'm a fucking incel. Yeah, I'm an involuntary celibate.
I just needed to get there before you called me one. That's it. So that's
Fair enough. I'm an incel, guys. Just won't put out. I'm fucking pissed. But yeah, no. Also on top of that, me and Molly went to the theaters and saw that movie 8th Grade.
Oh, how was that? Is that playing in?
It's playing in AMC.
Oh, okay.
I really, really liked it.
Okay.
I thought it was like a really accurate portrayal of like middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think like this is probably like the best coming of age movie I've ever seen.
Whoa.
As like opposed to like you go and like watch like American Pie or some shit like that where everyone is so over the top. Like everyone in this felt like genuine human beings.
Okay.
And it wasn't like so in your face like, isn't this funny? Like it's just like like small things that kids do at that age that like that alone is all the comedy you need.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost is funnier because you do kind of recognize that situation from when you were that age.
All right.
Like they have a legit scene where they show the middle school band play the entire Star Spangled Banner and it's fucking awful.
Great.
Like they just have things where whether it's teachers trying to seem like one of the kids where like there's like one scene where like the principal does an announcement and then dabs afterwards to like try and get the kids to fucking and then there's like every time like a teacher does an announcement there's at least one kid in the background that just yells something to try and get a laugh. Mm-hmm. Like I can't even tell you how many times that happened in middle school. Like it's shit like that. But and even like because it's 8th grade, they even have like scenes that they play out where like it plays off that transition from middle school to high school where you're like you come from middle school being very naive and you're in this entirely new environment that's fun and exciting, but there's newer dangers from when you were in middle school. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was really well done.
All right.
I don't expect this to possibly be on my list at the end of the year because this is really fucking. I really liked it.
Look out!
Yeah, and you can tell that it's made by Bo Burnham because there's like there feels like there's like a few Bo Burnhamisms in it where it's like you can tell that like because
Bo Burnhams.
Yeah, because it's like it's based off of like a girl that's very socially awkward that he throws some of his own like experiences in there.
Bo Burnhamsisms.
Bo Burnhamsisms. Yeah.
Great.
No, it's really. I highly suggest going to see 8th Grade.
I didn't know that
really
was playing around us, so
yeah.
I see if I can get the lady out.
Yeah, we just stumbled on it one night because we were just looking for a movie to go see like on a Friday night, and it only has 2 showings, so like you're probably gonna be pretty limited on when you can go see it.
All right.
But yeah, like nothing really came out besides the Meg, and we're like, I don't want to fucking see that shit in the theater. Yeah. But then we saw 8th Grade, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, I want to fucking see 8th Grade, and it's real good. Highly suggest it.
Sweet. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
I read the first issue of the relaunched Fantastic Four from Marvel Comics. It's got not a lot of Fantastic Four in it, still building up.
Yeah.
But a very surprising thing happened in it regardless. The Human Torch and the Thing are still on Earth, but Sue, Storm, and Reed Richards are out traveling the cosmos still with their daughter and son Valeria and Franklin. So they're out doing all that fun stuff, trying to get...
They're lost in spacing it?
Pretty much. But the Thing and the Human Torch are on Earth still doing their thing, and they get word that maybe Franklin or Sue and Reed and Franklin and Valeria are maybe possibly coming back, so they get excited that they're coming back, and then it was just a prank done by the Yancey Street gang.
What the fuck?
And so the Human Torch gets all upset, and he's like, they're dead, Ben. Like, I can't deal with this anymore. You just gotta accept that they're dead. But the Thing doesn't say, like, he still has hope that his friend's gonna come back.
He's got rocks for brains.
And so Ben has like an emotional moment where he thinks about like an old past adventure and all that stuff. And he's got this girlfriend, Alicia Masters, who's that blind sculptor or whatever. Yeah. And he finds this old jewel from an old adventure that is a gem that once you sing into it, it can like reverberate at the frequency of your universe. Yeah. So it can always send you home.
Yeah.
He gives that gem to put into a ring to propose to Alicia Masters because it would always send her home to him.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah.
So the Thing is betrothed to Alicia Masters. There's a bug by my face. So that was like the sweetest thing that happened in it.
That's good.
And then otherwise it had like 2 other short stories in it, one with Dr. Doom and another one that was just a goof. But like otherwise I think it was pretty good, and I'm looking forward to the next issue. Unfortunately I didn't read the last Fantastic Four run when it was coming out. I read it after it was all done, and it was really good. And so I'm really looking forward to like Fantastic Four coming out again.
Nice.
They're Marvel's first family. You gotta stick behind that first family.
You gotta do it.
And then otherwise, I've also been reading Batman Year One for a possible future video review.
There you go.
For
I
Imperious Rex.
saw the animated thing for it. I think it was like back when it was on Netflix, and it was pretty decent.
Yeah, it's even reading it through. I've never actually read it. I've only watched the animated thing a few times, and if you've seen the animated one, it's pretty true to that so far. I think there's a few things they like just leave out for brevity's sake, but I'm really digging it so far. Frank Miller and oh my god, I'm not gonna remember the artist's name because the book is all the way upstairs. But anyway, the art really complements the Frank Miller's script very well. And Frank Miller at this time is also doing The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
And so he's writing this and then also writing and drawing The Dark Knight Returns. And this is also around the same time that Swamp Thing is coming out by Alan Moore and Watchmen is coming out by Alan Moore.
Jesus.
And they're doing Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like, all this is happening at DC Comics at the exact same time.
Oh my God.
It's nutso. 1986, bruh.
Oof,
Check
look
it
out
sometime. Anyway, so Batman Year One. That's all I've been into, JT.
All right.
Well, if all the incels want to talk to you, JT, where can they do that?
Oh man, I can't wait. You guys are probably so interesting. Go ahead and message me at Bucky for Everyone on Twitter, also Bucky for Everyone on Instagram, and hey, why not Bucky for Everyone on Snapchat. Troy.
Before I get into my things, there's like a little Vice thing, a Vice News thing about incels on YouTube I watched.
Yeah.
They sound so fucking lame.
Ugh, man.
So like this lady was interviewing an incel, and he was just chatting on his group on 4chan, right?
Yeah.
And like one of his buddies on 4chan, one of his pranks is to whip out his dick and shit his pants.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these fucking guys suck.
Man, I hate them so much because, like, I was at a point when I was, like, single where I, like, I wouldn't say that I was gonna become an incel, but I was like flirting with it, where I would
Oh my god!
like it's like I was just like, man, why can't I find a chick? Blah 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 blah. And then like now that I'm on the outside looking in, where I'm just like, look, man, you can't think like that.
You just gotta at least try.
Yeah. And it just makes me angry.
Makes me very angry. Also, you can find me at Troy to the Max on Twitter, and you can find us both at Review Pod on Twitter.
Yeah.
All of our episodes are uploaded onto Facebook as well. That's where Judith first hit us up on the Facebooks.
Yeah.
You can also find us at our hosting site, if you would like to go there, at reviewpod.podbean.com. That is all of our episodes uploaded to a point. Like, the only reason I bring this up is because actually Judith brought up on Spotify, it only had our last 50 episodes up. Ooh. And I'm like, oh. So I went back and redid our RSS feed to upload the last 150 episodes.
Shit.
So it goes back pretty far, but if you want almost the full stream of it, go to Podbean, and it has like 200 something episodes up already. So
we have no lives.
And that's not even all of them. Yeah. Because at one point when we were doing our show when it was different, for whatever reason it didn't upload all of those.
Yeah. They were pretty bad, though.
They were a different show. I liked some of them, but like they were pretty bad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we would legit get drunk and ask each other rap trivia.
That happened once, and
point.
we got way too drunk.
We got way drunk.
Yeah.
We like down IPA beers.
You can, but you don't have to listen to us on that because we're on a plethora of other platforms.
Of course.
We are now on Spotify, which is awesome. We are on Stitcher. Yeah. We are on Google Podcasts. And on iTunes or Google, or not, Apple Podcasts is whatever they're rebranding themselves as.
Yeah.
And if you listen to us on an Apple device, then why don't you comment and subscribe there, rate and review, because if you like the show, that helps people find the show as well. Get us up on those charts.
Oh, yes.
If you got something long form to say, you can do that in a Gmail at reviewpod at gmail.com.
Hi-yo.
I think that's everything this time. Oh, also new. We are also on, starting from the last episode of the first episode of Singing Out the Summer.
Yeah.
All of our new episodes are also uploaded in full onto YouTube as well. Just search Review Podcast on YouTube. And if you have a YouTube Red subscription, you can listen to us on there. Such as... as you could do any other podcast.
Oh, fuck yeah.
We're everywhere, babe.
Fuck yeah.
I also have a few popular episodes previous to that downloaded. I'm going to edit those so it's review only and put those up intermittently. But otherwise, everything from there on, from Singing in the Rain on forward, full episodes up on YouTube as well.
Sweet.
We're everywhere, babe.
We're everywhere. Get on it.
Get on it. That's the show, JT.
All right. Well, for next week, you're going to keep an eye out because we're deciding to put out some polls for the next two shows. Our first one, now tell me if you agree with this, Troy. For the next one, I'm thinking keep the poll open till maybe about Sunday, so that way it gives everyone a chance to see the movie at least over partial weekend.
Yeah, open through Sunday.
Yeah, and then we'll do that for the next poll next week.
Mm-hmm.
So for the next one, we decided to maybe gather some musicals that aren't based in the 1950s, since we did that 2 times in a row. So we took one of our English friends, Judith's recommendations of a modern musical and put in Chicago as one of the options.
Yep.
Also, our friend Coach Havens put in a idea for The Greatest Showman.
Yep.
We'll see about that. And we've also heard a lot of ideas for Little Shop of Horrors, so we'll
Yep.
put that in there.
One of our
And
listeners, Dirk Feelgood.
there you go, Dirk Feelgood, put it in there.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors. And just for shits and gigs, we're putting Moulin Rouge in there as well. So
Yeah.
there you go. 3 more modern musicals. We'll put them in a poll, and then we will officially post what it's going to be on that Sunday, so you have time to watch it, at least watch it part of the weekend on that Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do a review on the musical that wins this, and then we'll put out the poll for our last Sing Out the Summer episode the next week.
Yes. Which is going to be probably back to older ones. But
Yeah, yep. There's definitely...
you got to throw a little bit of modern.
Yeah, God damn it. That one that Chelsea's been saying, it's probably going to be...
Brigadoon.
Brigadoon's probably going to be in there, so
Yeah.
there you go. So you might get a chance to watch Brigadoon,
There you have it.
as well as some other ones that that we'll put in there as well.
Got it. Well, that's the show, JT. It's been a wild ride.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to kill my childhood.
Hey man, I'm looking at it through fresh eyes, and I'm trying to give you the hard truth there.
You're all right. So join us next
It's all
week.
right. You didn't like Broadway ballet, so I think we're even.
Good.
Yeah, you didn't like Broadway ballet, and then I tried to convince you that this was for incels, so we're even.
We really put it. We really did it. We evened out.
We hate the things we love.
So join us next week where we'll be doing more musicals.
More musicals.
Modern musicals next week.
Yeah, more modern.
But until then, I've been Troy to the Max Extreme.
I am GT3K.
And we are off.
Bless your beautiful hide.